Hello, everyone. I'm HearMeowt. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to part 2 of the Diane Downs 2020 parole hearing insanity. If you didn't catch part 1, make sure and check it out in the Diane Downs playlist that is in the description of this video. And because I'm lazy, I'm going to reuse the intro from part 1 starting now. I've got a trivia question for you. What singular story involves J. Edgar Hoover, King Michael of Romania, and film rights for Motown Productions? Can't guess? Okay, I'll give you another hint. It also involves a man, possibly men, or even the entire collective effort of the United States government that quite possibly has murdered everyone who has ever died in Diane Downs' life, including her pets when she was a child. Now, if you said her 2020 parole hearing, you would be absolutely correct, because I am telling you, despite already having a reputation for fantastical explanations proving her innocence, this parole hearing isn't on another level, it's in another dimension. Now, if you don't know who Diane Downs is, there's a short summary of her background in the description of this video below. But basically, she shot her 3 kids in 1983, blamed it on a stranger in the road, and was convicted and sent to prison for life, where she has spent the last 41 years. This 2020 parole hearing was her 3rd attempt, and it might be the greatest one of all because we have the complete hearing and no one is there telling her to stop talking. I cannot tell you how excited I am to review this with all of you. And of course, before we begin, for those of you just joining us for the first time, this is a commentary channel meant for both laughter and examination of the biggest morons to have ever attempted the dumbest criminal activities. Make sure to check out the many playlists in the description of this video for the different subjects we cover, such as Sarah Boone, Lauren Armstrong, etc. Basically, if they're an idiot, they're going to end up being talked about here. And if you like what you see here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the fun. Hello to everyone who's with us live in the chat right now. And of course, hello to the replay crew. And don't forget to hit the like button because we all know what happens when you don't, and nobody's going to like that. I'm joined by my 2 favorite guests tonight, Derek and Suma, and I've got 15 pages of notes, so this should be great. All right, let's go. Everyone, welcome back again. For those who were just on the Sarah Boone call number 4 stream, welcome. Thanks for sticking around. I don't know if people got successfully moved over, but it's part 2 of the Diane Downs 2020 parole call hearing. And we, of course, right now only have Dexter. Damn it. I was hitting 100% all day. Derek. Suma is a little bit behind, but hello, Derek.
Good, and you?
So you had to dip out a little bit earlier last night. I know you have to dip out in about 3 hours. If we
3
don't,
hours-ish, yeah, more or less.
But yeah, we are going to pick up halfway. We're almost halfway through part 2. But I think we left off yesterday with saying she was talking about her physical health. So let's bring this up here.
A whole building that's set aside for positive cases and another wing set aside for people.
No, she's talking about COVID right now, I believe. Mm-hmm.
That are being tested. So that part of my health, I have arthritis. I'm obese. That's not good. Past that, I guess I'm good. My health is good.
All right, thank you.
There are people.
You can finish your thought if you would like.
I was just going to say there are people that are in a way worse condition. There's people in wheelchairs. There's people with canes, and so when I look at them, I think I'm good. I'm good. But if you're asking like from a doctor's point of view, yeah, I'm broke down. I'm getting there.
All right. Thanks.
Wouldn't that be the only relevant information on saying how's your physical health? Well, if you were going to ask a doctor, yeah, that's all we care about, Diane.
Thank you. Ms. Crest, do you have any questions regarding the psychological report?
I do. Thank you. Since we're on the topic of health, I did want to also ask, do you have an assigned mental health caseworker at the institution?
No, I don't.
And are you on any?
Go ahead.
Are you on any medications related to mental health?
No.
And you started to say you've asked for one, but
I've asked for one because it was the parole board made it clear that they couldn't tell if I'd gone from point A to point B to point Z without a professional telling them. And so I've asked for one, and the psych that saw me said, we discontinued our mental health hospitals here years ago. We are low on resources, low on staff. We cannot waste our resources and staff time on healthy people. There's nothing wrong with you. So that's the closest I've come to getting a psych evaluation. So I've tried.
And in regards to the psychological evaluation, one of the statements in the report states, Ms. Downs' case received intense media attention, and there is suggestion in the records that she has enjoyed the notoriety her case has received. In her dealing with her legal case, Ms. Downs rarely presented with a low, sad affect, but instead appeared to relish in the limelight. How do you respond to that statement?
What do we think, guys? Does that sound like Diane? Does she relish in the limelight of the media? What do you think, Derek?
Does she relish the media, considering she was so giggly and happy and smiley days after murdering her child? Yeah, I would say she likes it.
Okay, so we vote that as true, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where on the records it says that. I hate the media. I can't stand the media. I talked to the media when I first went to New Jersey. I was 3,000 miles away from my kids. And I talked to the media 1, 2, 3 times because it was the only way that I could tell my kids I loved them is on a TV show. None of that ever made it to the TV show. All of that always got edited out. So I haven't talked.
And you didn't really talk to them, right? You went on with Ann Rule. Then she's back, and they cut it out. You were obsessed with talking about all the men you were sleeping with, how wrong Ann Rule was. Jeez.
To the media since then. I have nothing to say to the media. I don't relish the limelight. In prison, when you're in prison, people don't hate me because they think I'm a quote unquote baby killer. Do you know?
Why do they hate her? Why do we think?
Well, I know the answer, but yeah.
Yeah. They hate you because they ain't you.
Why they hate me? Because I'm famous.
Yeah.
So I really don't relish the limelight. This is best thing that ever happened to me in prison was getting old. Now all the youngsters, they're all doing their own thing and all trying to get famous and all trying to go out and gangbang so they could make the world the world news.
It's weird. Is she talking about the people that are in prison or the people that are outside coming into prison? Like they're going out and gangbang. Are they going out and gangbang from prison like at night?
I understood it as people in prison when I first heard it.
Okay. By the way, I'm working on something for you right here.
And they forget about me because I'm just that old lady. I'm just the old lady in the garden. That's all I am anymore. And no, I do not relish the limelight. I have never relished the limelight.
Load of shit.
The only people who've ever said that is the media. That's why I want to know where it says that in the record. She says it's in the record, but I don't understand where it's in the record. I haven't seen it. So.
Well,
my other question.
It's the record of, watching TV and seeing how you are on TV.
Regarding the evaluation, there's sort of a consistent theme around narcissism in the evaluation and sort of feeling of being self-centered or self-important. How do you respond to that? And do you feel like you recognize some narcissistic traits in yourself?
Two things to be said for that. One, this parole board hearing is about me. So we're talking about me.
Could you give a more narcissistic answer while trying to say you're not narcissistic? They're not talking about the fact that you're discussing yourself here, Diane. What an idiot.
That isn't me being self-centered. That's me trying to answer questions from my point of view so that you'll understand what's happening to me. Same with the psych evaluation. It was all about me, but not from my point of view. I am complying with your request to tell you about me. Second of all, in here, I do charity work. I do things for other people. I don't sit around on a fluffy pillow waiting for people to take care of me.
Does anyone in prison do that? Who's sitting around a fluffy pillow in prison?
My roommates fixed my hair today, not because I'm that important.
Oh, I love this line. Okay, the roommates fixed your hair. Why?
But because they feel like they're paroling too.
Did you catch that?
They're paroling too.
They feel like they're paroling too. Two isn't also, meaning Diane is getting parole today.
Yep.
So they're all back there like, oh, finally, Diane, you're getting out.
She represents all of us.
What kind of delusion do you have to think you're getting out? Oh, shoot. Hit the back.
Liberating. Doing this last weekend, well, they want to know if you're reaching for something.
The talk that other
Center of attention, but because
The evaluation, there's sort of a consistent theme around narcissism in the evaluation, and sort of
Who's a narcissist? Not Diane.
No.
Feeling of being self-centered or self-important.
So sorry, I know this is repeated, but
How do you respond to that? And do you feel like you recognize some narcissistic traits in yourself?
two things to be said for that. One, this parole board hearing is about me. So we're talking about me. That isn't me being self-centered. That's me trying to answer questions from my point of view so that you'll understand what's happening to me. Same with the psych evaluation. It was all about me, but not from my point of view. I am complying with your request to tell you about me. Second of all, in here, I do charity work. I do things for other people. I don't sit around on a fluffy pillow waiting for people to take care of me.
Yep.
My roommates fixed my hair today, not because I'm that important, but because they feel like they're paroling too. So they're excited. They're anxious. They're sitting back there waiting. Not because I am the center of attention, but because we as a group, as a whole, we are a community. We're a unit. And so we share in each other's joys and each other's failures. So narcissism is all about me. If I was narcissistic, I wouldn't be wearing a mask because it ruins my lipstick. I don't wear lipstick.
Duh. This is such a stupid answer. So she's got lipstick underneath her mask? Is that what she's saying?
Does. Yes, that's exactly what she's saying.
What a freaking idiot.
In the unit. I don't wear makeup back in the unit. I throw my hair up in a nice loose bun and I have...
Why would you? Is makeup in prison a thing? I mean, I would imagine you wouldn't waste money on it.
If you're someone's girlfriend.
Well, I guess so. I don't know.
But Diane is not anyone's girlfriend. I could say that with certainty.
Yeah, she said me 50 times in the answer saying she's not a narcissist.
poking up everywhere. I'm not worried about trying to attract attention or shine the spotlight on me. I don't. I'm in the garden.
Well, you can't tie your damn shoes.
For 2 months.
For 2 months, and, Christie was lucky, but now you're in prison.
Lucky. They were lucky to get shot.
Yeah.
Working covered in dirt behind a juniper And people don't even know that I'm there until they go, "Oh, criminy, Diane, I didn't even know."
Oh my God, what? You freaked me
Jiminy
out.
crickets, it's Diane.
You're back there. Well, they don't say criminy, but anyway. Yeah,
Can I curse?
I don't.
Where is Suma?
Draw attention to myself.
Suma said
I don't
here.
put
Let her
myself
finish
in a
her
position-
cigarette.
She made it sound like she did it in 5 minutes. Where's my cigarette?
Finish my cigarette.
Being
Hear me
special.
chewing?
I don't know why she writes that. I
She needs to get here because I want to unveil what I prepared.
really don't know why.
Thank you. Those were my only questions about the evaluation.
Mr. Taylor, do you have any questions?
I do. Ms. Downs, I wanted to follow up on that same subject matter. You know, on page 15 of the psychological evaluation, you told the doctor that you might be open to mental health counseling in the future. And you further told her that you were reluctant to talk to others about their problems, meaning other inmates. And the reason for that was because, this is according to your conversation with her, you said, because you have your own things to fix. I have so much chaos and brokenness. Can you expound upon that in terms of the details of what chaos and brokenness you see in yourself?
All right. So this is one of those good answers. I think this is going to be 5 minutes of an answer. So the question very clearly is, what were you said you couldn't talk to others because you have your own chaos and problems. What are those chaos and problems, right? Just laying out, what are the chaos and problems you were talking about that you mentioned?
I sort of touched on it a little bit earlier. I've been in prison 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you move to France, they have a whole different way of doing things. They don't wear deodorant. There's all kinds of things. You would eventually either grow accustomed to their ways or adopt some of their ways in order to get along. There's a lot of things about prison in 37 years that I've adopted. I still don't brew hooch. I still don't use drugs. I still don't use legal drugs so that I can get high. I don't even use an inhaler for the albuterol, which is what the girls use so they can get high.
Hold on. Pause a second there.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I have albuterol on me right now. I have pretty severe asthma.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's the asthma stuff, right?
I've never gotten high off of albuterol.
Well, how much ever? Did you take enough?
Well, albuterol is like taking straight adrenaline. Like it
I thought it was steroids. Isn't it steroids? Isn't that what?
I don't know if it's a steroid. I mean, I ain't no doctor, but it like forces your lungs and everything to just open up so you could breathe. I don't know any. It's not. Maybe it would have like a meth-like feel if you do it enough, because it does get you like amped up. But I would never imagine to take albuterol to get high. Okay. Some people are saying it can get you high in high doses. I've been on albuterol since decades. I've never gotten high off of albuterol.
All right.
And just for the record, I'm high right now.
I'm high right now.
And I'm not. Albuterol didn't do it.
I don't do any of those things, but there are.
Well, you're not supposed to do any of those things, Diane. So what is the chaos and brokenness that you were talking about? Because so far you're describing all the ways you're not broken.
There are things that I do.
It's not her fault she's perfect.
You know, listen to what she describes it.
I keep my hands visible at all times.
This just sounds crazy. Just imagine somebody doing this. Walking in prison. Hands are visible. Like, you gotta look like a clown doing that in prison. And people are like, what are you doing, Diane? Right? Even the guards are probably like, Diane, you can stop it. We know you're not carrying anything. Just walking around like an idiot.
She's got her crochet hook.
Yeah.
In prison, when your hands are down, the staff want to know what you're doing. And so it makes them edgy. It makes
So
them
everyone's walking around with their arms in the air? I doubt it, Diane.
nervous. They want to know if you're reaching for something, if you're reaching for a weapon. So my hands are always visible. That's not a bad thing, but it's a conditioning. It's a conditioning that might make other people think, why are you always got your hands in the air?
And why are you guys got your hands in the air when you're breaking all these other rules? You know what I mean?
Escaping prison.
Escaping prison, contraband, all this other stuff. And she's talking about how she's such a stickler for the rules. And again, how is this chaos and brokenness?
Are you?
Super Kelly G. The question was, she said she doesn't talk to the other girls about her problems because she has her own chaos and brokenness. And the guy said, what do you mean? What does this say? What is the chaos and brokenness?
Trying to draw attention to yourself? No, I'm trying to make my officer here not think I'm reaching for a shank. So that's brokenness to me.
No.
Talking about
That's not brokenness at all. That's following the rules.
my children. I'm not allowed to talk about my children.
Because I'll kill you?
When my parents come, it's the only time that we're able to ever talk about Christie and Danny and Cheryl. And we only talk about the happy memories. We only talk about the good things because they don't want to make me cry, and I don't want to make them cry. And so that's a brokenness.
No, it's not.
Most people can say, hey, you know what my son was doing this last weekend? Well, he was out playing softball, and I'll tell you what, he caught that ball at third base.
You know why they can say that, Diane? X-Church, you know why they can say that?
Because they're not in prison? Oh, because their kids actually like them and they're not in a wheelchair because they
didn't attempt to murder their kids. They didn't attempt to murder their kids. Yep.
I can't do that. My son, from what I understand, my son was on the swimming team when he was in college. I can't tell people that.
Was he really on the swim team?
I don't know, but imagine the last time you saw your kid was like 3 and now you're talking about what he did in college. Like, you've missed out. Like, that's everything, Diane.
You go, oh, what the hell, you don't have a right to talk about that. It's retribution constantly. So there are things that
You don't have the right to talk about it because you were in no way involved in it, right? It's not like you encouraged him to do swimming. It's not like you took him to practices, right? So it doesn't really matter what he's doing. It has no reflection on you, and you tried to kill him. But it'd be pretty amazing. I'm sure it's some like, paraplegic kind of thing, swimming, right? But
yeah, it must be.
It'd be one thing you could do, right? I imagine, like, versus running.
We were talking earlier about, I think, constantly, before I act, before I say anything, before I do anything, I always think first.
What about this entire parole hearing? You haven't done much of that.
And I want to think, but I don't want to have to think about everything. I want to be able to say, hey, here's an example.
Yeah, give us an example.
Yeah, this should be good.
I had a dream the other day that I was at Mom's house. And I said, Mom, what color do you want to paint the dining room? And Christie came out of the kitchen.
Oh my God. I hate when she talks about these dreams as if they have any kind of meaning or at all reflect on who she is.
And she was carrying a toaster. And she goes, I like mauve. And I glanced over at her and I said,
there she is. Hello.
Hi.
I didn't hear there. I didn't hear the little beep.
That's okay.
What, was it the picture of Lauren? Was that what brought you here? I sent the picture of Lauren in the chat.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see it. I didn't get a chance because I was running around like a crazy person.
Oh, man. Why didn't that work?
But now I'm going to look
shit.
at it. I was just about to put into the chat that HearMeowt won't let me in because he's intimidated by my sexiness.
Oh, why did this not work? Oh,
with another guy.
Yeah, another guy.
They're the wrong format. Okay, I got to work on my joke here still.
Fetching as always.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mom's nice. And I didn't like, oh my gosh, it's Christie. It's like she had been there and I was comfortable. I told my mom that on the phone, and it was so liberating just to be able to say something normal. I had a dream about my daughter, and it was awesome, and she was going to help us paint the dining room wall. I didn't tell anybody that in prison. And if I hadn't been able to call my mom on the phone, I wouldn't have been able to tell my mom that. That is something I would have had just kept inside, and it never would have gone anywhere. And then eventually it would have just gone away. Now that
is it possible because it's totally meaningless? Is that why? You know, Mom, you gotta know this dream I had about Christie. What's wrong with this person? I don't know.
I've told it, it's like always mine forever because I was able to share it. And I've shared it with you. So there are things, that's a brokenness.
Again, that's not a brokenness. It's just really like having no understanding of what like real emotion or what your real feelings should be. Polynomial purebred $4.99. Watery aerobics is encouraged for amputees and arthritics because it provides
just because it
because it provides its own buoyancy, but 100% not possibly depending on exact diagnosis. Yep. Well, thank you very much for the $5. Let's do
When I'm at home, am I going to be able to at the church? If
You're
they
not
say,
going home,
hey,
Diane.
Miss Downs,
You're not
do you
going
have
to
any
walk
kids? You know what I say? No.
You don't, though. You don't have. It's not. You're not saying it because you're being forced into. You don't have kids. They don't live with you. You tried to kill them. They were taken away. So even if you were outside of prison, they still wouldn't be your kids. It's a monster.
Because if I say yes, people say, well, how are they doing? Where are they?
And I doubt if anyone in America would ever ask Diane Downs, of all people, hey, do you have kids? Maybe second only, or, Susan Smith is right behind. Hey, Susan, you got any kids? What is this joke of an answer?
I don't know. That's a brokenness. Those are things that I know I need counseling for. I need to be able to go into the church and say, yes, I had children. No, I don't have children. They have another mother and another father, and they're happy where they are, and they're good.
Even when trying to talk about, it's all about her. It's all me.
So much. I have to be able to go into the church and say, yes, I had children. No, you don't. You need to be able to shut the fuck up and stay in prison where you belong forever. Bye-bye.
Nope. Nobody cares, Diane. Nobody. Literally nobody's going to ask you that because you're never getting out as well. But just.
And I can't do that.
Flora.
I certainly can't do that in here.
What? Sorry.
Flora, I'm just responding to Flora, who said, I'm confused. Why can't Diane say her children's names? Because she'll probably get shanked for saying her kids' names.
According to her.
Well, she doesn't exactly say that, but that is the reason.
That's what she's implying. But is that the reason, really? Because I personally think that she's probably saying those kids' names all the time, all over the place. And people are like, oh,
yeah. I don't know. I think I would agree with you on that. I want to start feeling your boobs.
What? Next, Derek. That's totally inappropriate.
Should I step out?
Jeez, what was that?
And I don't see myself doing
your joke? Is this what you were planning this whole time? It took you this long?
Well, I have them in the wrong format. Don't worry, there's more coming.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but
you didn't hear it?
Oh, I heard it, but I didn't know. I don't know.
Lauren calls. He chopped me up.
Oh,
I want to start feeling your boobs.
You scoundrel.
There, just the day I get out. I don't see that happening. So yeah, I need counseling. I know I need counseling. Not because you guys say I have to, not because Dr. Guyton says I should, but because I know I know I need it.
Who gives a shit, Diane?
No one cares
Thank
what
you.
you
I want to ask
that has nothing to do with broken. I mean, I don't know.
question about the mental health, since we are on that subject as well. In the original PSI, after your arrest for the instant crime, it stated that you saw a doctor and you were diagnosed with cyclothymic disorder, which is...
So I looked this up, cyclothymic. It's not psychothymic, but yeah, it's basically adjacent. If it goes untreated, it will turn into bipolar, but it's basically, it sounds like bipolar light. Which,
bipolar 1 is when you have depression and 1 episode of mania. Bipolar 2, I could be getting it mixed up.
No, this is before bipolar 1 and 2.
So cyclothymic is when you don't have depression and you haven't...
You're like doing mania type stuff or what?
And you haven't had mania. It's sort of like you're on the edge of both.
Gotcha.
It's a disorder that's similar to bipolar disorder, but not as severe. And that you went to counseling for 6 months for that disorder. Do you recall those counseling sessions?
That was Dr. Jameson, yes. And the only reason I stopped is because I was arrested. I went until I was arrested.
Were they helpful while you were going?
Yes, absolutely they were. The reason that she labeled me that is because it was right after Cheryl was gone, right after Christie and Danny were gone, and I was not good.
Oh, jeez. I was having a real downer.
She couldn't tie her shoes.
Couldn't tie my damn shoes.
Yeah.
I was here and I was there and I was everywhere in between. I was not functioning well at all. I was happy. I would laugh hysterically and then I would cry for no reason. And I would laugh until I cried. And if you asked me why, I couldn't have told you why.
It's weird that we only ever saw the laughing.
Yes.
Right, Diane?
It's nothing. It's everything. It's and so being able to talk to her, she goes, what does nothing mean? What does everything mean? And so I was finally able, she says, stop. Just stop. Pause. Think what's the first thing that comes to your mind and then go from there. And so it
do you wonder if it really was like that? Or she's saying like, no, I want you to stop now. The person's like, stop, shut up. Think, what are you saying? You're just going on and on. You're talking about your ex-husband who's a bastard. And you're talking about the bushy-haired man. Like, I don't know. She's saying it like in a way of like when she later goes, yes, they believe me. They knew I was finally telling the truth. Like a very understanding way. I can't believe anyone would talk to her like that.
It did help. It did help. Yeah. And that she was probably the first one that taught me about just stop. Because when you're rolling, just stop.
Oh, wait, what does she have now?
What?
Is she saying she's got bipolar now? Is that what it is?
No, I don't know if she said it yet, but what she's going to say is that it was just because of the situation, because she knows like they won't let her out if she actually has like some kind of mental disease. And she's saying, and they're saying, well, without treatment, they're saying that turns into bipolar. And you're like, no, it was just because of the situation. It wasn't because I was actually like that.
Not. That she would never admit to.
Yeah.
I kind of asked that question because, professionals, according to, what's in the documentation, says that this disorder, it really doesn't get better with time, and that continuous counseling is necessary, and that untreated, it could develop into bipolar 1 or bipolar 2. So have you ever felt like you've had issues with that diagnosis that was given to you 37 years ago up to today?
I would say no. And I would encourage you to talk to Dr. Jameson. She told me that the reason that she considered that was because it was situational. It was because of a trauma, because of the death and the children being taken, Christie and Danny being taken, and still trying to function in the real world, delivering mail, and the police showing up at the post office and pulling me off my route to ask me questions, and then coming home, and it was basically just trying to fit everybody else's mold. And for real, getting arrested stopped all that.
No.
It just stopped. The police.
So getting arrested actually helped her. You know.
Police weren't there. The job wasn't there. I had one focus, which was the trial. And I haven't had the mood swings. I don't laugh hysterically until I cry. I never have since. So I imagine that's something that I would bring up with counseling. I would ask her to communicate with Dr. Jameson and find out from Dr. Jameson, get her files, and find out exactly what that meant and why. And maybe that is.
Sounds like she gave you the diagnosis. You're saying it's temporary, but we have no evidence of that. Again, I think whenever she says, oh, it's in there, 90% of the time we've got to believe that it's, something she's just making up, and then she's going to say, oh, the document was lost, right?
I'll stick my finger in you.
Hey!
So I was going to say, because earlier when you did that, X-Derek was like, he chopped me up. And I put into the chat, X-Derek, don't worry, we'll chop him up later. But they didn't let it go through because of my...
Because of what?
My suggesting such evil deeds, I guess.
I'm going to suck on your nipples.
X-Derek, stop it!
Something, maybe.
It's still better than your drumming.
Take off my clothes.
Everyone is so relieved. They're like, oh, thank God.
Maybe that's something that still needs to be addressed. I don't know the answer to that.
I want to
my swoop is falling apart.
Kind of talk about some of your mental thoughts that you have around death. And this is discussed in the psychological evaluation.
So this is where she, just listen to this question.
You had mentioned that during your lifetime, you've had, let's say, pets die. You've had relatives die. You've had other tragedies in your life. It seemed from reading the evaluation that you believed that there was always someone responsible for the death of anything that occurred in your life. And it almost seemed like a conspiracy theory that you felt like the person responsible for killing your pets when you were growing up, the person that killed your dad's parents when they were in a car wreck, the person that killed your uncle, by shooting him in the head, could be the same person that tried to kill your kids. Is that a thought process that you believe is feasible?
All right. So if you couldn't follow that there, she said in the PSI, basically, she has come to believe that all the deaths of her pets, her parents' death, her uncle her parents' death in a car wreck, her uncle being shot, and then her kids being shot in 1983 are all part of a conspiracy involving possibly the same person.
Yes.
And they're asking her, does that seem reasonable to think?
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm going to suck on your nipples.
That is not that is not appropriate, X-Terry.
Well, it's my thought. What do you want me to say?
I remember when I told you? As soon as you just laid it out, I was like, oh, thank you for saying that in your normal voice for us. Like, oh, you're muted, Suma. You're muted.
Yeah, you're like, I'm glad I got that in your
yeah.
voice.
And I just never went through converting it to the audio, and I finally found a little time to do it here today. Yeah, finally did it today. It's gonna be entertainment for years.
I'm mad too. I'm hilarious.
It is, and I know it's probably not what you want to hear.
No, it's not what anyone would want to hear, Diane, because you sound crazy saying that and then saying, yes, I do believe that.
And I didn't always feel that way. When I was a kid, I didn't have that thought. Not until after Cheryl died.
So after the murder you committed, then you started stringing all the other non-related acts into this grand conspiracy.
Cheryl was killed. Not until after that. And then I
don't know if she says it here, but she said earlier, like, I think it was earlier, she said the death, which she was referred to it. Like, you mean the murder, not the death. She wasn't killed. She was murdered. Killed is like, oh, got in a car accident. I was killed. You murdered her.
Well, only the person who murdered their children would want to underplay it.
Like, downplay it. Like, you know, when they died, the death.
Yeah, when they passed.
When they passed.
Started wondering, and even then I didn't associate my grandparents' death and Uncle David's death with Cheryl's death until it was actually years later.
Because there's no association, you lunatic.
Yeah, I won't hit the button.
It's a great picture of her. I love that picture.
People started sending me all.
So handsome.
She looks like a boy even then. She looks like a boy wearing a wig. She looks like
she looks exactly like a boy I went to high school with.
She looks like Timothy McVeigh with a wig on.
Yeah.
How was she getting so much dick? How was she getting so much dick?
I don't know.
Well, first of all, when you're 15, I would imagine doesn't really take much.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah. Nah. And I don't think it might not take that much at all. I don't know. I wouldn't know because, you know.
All these letters saying, oh, I know this and I know that. And what about this and what about that?
And it's just so transparent when she says, by the way, Scripsy, I did get your email. I didn't have a chance to look at it yet, though, because this is going to be long enough with the parts 2 and 3. But she sued the parole board after this. So we should look at that document next time when we listen to more recordings.
Ooh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't either.
Yeah, she sued them in 2023, according to Scripsy. But thank you for that, and we will cover it, Scripsy.
Interesting.
The way she, you know, again, what she's always laying out these specific accusations of like, this is the person that shot my daughter, or, you know, and he was stalking me, all this. And then whenever she gets into letters, she goes, and they were saying this, and then they were saying that, and then they were saying this, and then they're saying that. Like, it doesn't work, Diane, because your lies always have so many specifics, crazy specifics. But now you're just going into generalizations of these letters. And then somehow the letters are making you're crazy, or you're not crazy because somebody wrote you that letter and you believed it. I mean, at best, you're an idiot.
And then I started thinking, again, I'm not that important.
Kathleen, she said that the 2010 transcript that they referenced was altered. She I think she says that in the 2025 hearing that the 2010 hearing was altered.
Was that the one that she claimed? Was that the one she claimed the police were there and they were involved?
Well, she did this one earlier yesterday in the call, but she's going to also say that, you know, they're saying, "Oh, we believed you," but it's not in the transcript.
Why are people from Ohio and Florida and Washington State and Arizona, why are they all writing to me and saying these same things? These people don't, as far as I know, they don't even know each other. They're all writing and saying these same things about my children, about my grandparents, about my Uncle David, as if somebody wants me to believe that. Okay. That doesn't make it true.
And a standard cop-out. I'm not saying I believe it, but they're saying it to me. And why? Isn't it interesting that they want me to believe that, even though I don't? So there's something there.
But it makes one person want somebody in Florida, Ohio, Arizona, Washington to all write to me from different parts of the country and say the same thing to make me believe that. Just to make me look crazy? You don't have to. Parole board isn't going to have to let me go if they don't want to let me go. You don't have to make me look crazy to keep me here. So why is one person doing all this unless this person has a motive? And is the motive to keep me in prison? Well, then was the motive to put me in prison?
Oh my God. Motive to keep you in prison, but then what was the motive to put me in prison, maybe? Oh, she's so close to uncovering it all, right?
And then I'll stick my penis in you.
Hey, Derek!
That's what she probably said to the parole board.
That's right.
And so by extrapolation, that's why I write to the FBI. They can find out if they care. And if they don't care, what have I lost?
Well, you've lost any hope of getting out.
Your freedom, your
credibility.
Plausibility, yeah. Credibility.
Yeah. If you were actually innocent, this is the last strategy you'd want to follow as well, because you sound like an idiot.
Or worth listening to at all.
We just get right her off.
What have I lost? I've been in prison 37 years without being dangerous. I'm low risk, according.
I don't know about that. And also, if you weren't dangerous, why did you get shot and stabbed, according to you?
Yeah, shot twice.
Yeah.
Shot twice. And she escaped from prison, which is not
right.
dangerous.
That's true.
Yeah, I love how she makes these arguments that it's going to come up more and more about how she hasn't harmed anyone when she's in prison. Okay, well, then that's probably where we should leave you, because when you were outside of prison, you killed your kids.
Right. I'm sure your cellmate who you have to escape just to go fuck her husband doesn't think you're so not dangerous.
That was probably a real awkward mealtime. When she got home the next lunch,
hey, funny story, you're gonna laugh.
So I got there, and then
You're not gonna believe this. First of all, he's a rapist.
First of all, I only slept with him like 20 times. Okay.
He wanted.
Hold on. Who are we talking about here?
When she escaped, she went to
She went across the street, didn't she?
Yeah, to a cellmate's husband's house, 6 blocks down the road.
It was a cellie's husband?
Yeah.
Correct. Where else would she
That's
go?
how it was set up. She goes, my husband lives here, and that's right where she went.
And Diane was like, got it.
She just cannot help herself.
No, that's right. She's not dangerous, though, you see.
But hey, it's not her, because look, they had been they hadn't seen each other for years. He was, going to divorce her, right? She was no longer able to be a woman to him. And Diane filled that need.
To the psychiatric report, I'm low risk for danger, for violence, for anger, for aggression.
Also, it's not your business to tell them that. That's not your job. That's their job.
Right.
By asking the FBI for help, look, this is how I see it. Let's say you guys decide to let me go home today.
They won't.
Yeah, okay. But
all right.
Thought exercise, parole board. Let's just say you were going to let me go home. All right, Diane?
I'm going out there to somebody.
Remember, the question is, don't you think it's crazy to think one person is behind all of these deaths in your family? Give me a not crazy answer, Diane.
Who is sending me these crazy letters? I'm no longer your control. I'm not living in your custody anymore. I'm not living inside an electric fence anymore. I'm out there where crazy people can now put letters in my mom's mailbox. I'm now living out there where when I go to get gas at the gas station, somebody can slide up next to me and say, hey, did you know?
Hey, did you know? This is a terrible argument to introduce, Diane. This is all reasons to keep you in prison.
I want to know who this person is for my mom's safety, for my kids' safety, for my brother's safety, for my niece's safety. Right now, whoever's doing this is having a blast, making me look like the crazy person.
That's just like Jody too, right? Whoever did this is out there sitting pretty, right? Having a laugh. with you guys focusing on me. It's almost word for word. Whoever did this is having a blast, sitting pretty.
Maybe that's his only
Very
goal.
Letitia Stout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Her as well.
Crazy. Well, kudos to him. But what if it's not? What if this goes all the way back to 1983?
Oh my God.
I want to start feeling your boobs.
Derek, can you just stop and stay on? I'll stop doing it.
It's Tourette's. Sexy Tourette's.
Kiss your finger.
Kiss your finger.
Goes all the way back to 1971.
What happened in 1971? Is that when maybe her uncle died or something? I don't get it.
So I asked.
From the evaluation by Dr. Schulte, did describe you as someone with high intellectual, superiority. I think he said that she has a higher intellectual capacity than 99% of similar aged individuals. And so with that intelligence, you can probably discern between people that are making up stories to get to you.
Yes.
Yeah, at first it sounded like he was building her up, and then he's just like, you should understand this is bullshit. You're not that stupid.
And to make money for themselves versus what's reality.
Yes.
And that's kind of the dilemma. But let me ask you another question. This is from the evaluation. You, in the 1987 PSI, you were described, or I should say you described your plans to marry Donald Lesueur, if I'm pronouncing
his names.
Pronouncing that correctly.
That means the sister in French.
Apparently, this is a real person, but just like she's always, just sounds like a bad romance novel. Yeah. Donald Lesueur was going to marry
Lesueur.
Okay, now what do we think this answer is going to involve? It's involved with the man proposing marriage. What do we all know it's going to involve?
Getting pregnant.
No.
Oh, I didn't. What's the question? Sorry.
So they're going to question her about marriage with a man. So it's going to involve one of two things at least. It's going to involve movie contracts.
Right. The Motown films.
And Motown films.
And a proposal, obviously, because that's implied in them.
Right.
Resided in Texas. And Mr. Lesueur was previously married to Susan Atkins, who was convicted in the Charles Manson family killing of Sharon Tate in 1981. My question to you is, someone with the high intelligence that you have, why would you want to marry someone who was convicted of conspiring with Charles Manson to murder many people? Why would you want to be married to someone like that?
I would not want to be married, and I'm not married to him. The mailroom gets all my mail.
Right away, she starts from all the way over there when she stay right here. And was this guy involved with Charles Manson?
No, it's not. I listened to it twice. His question is worded poorly. I think what he meant to say was, why would you want to marry somebody who was involved with somebody who conspired with Charlie Manson? Because he was involved with Susan Atkins, who was involved with Charlie Manson.
Oh, okay.
I think he skipped one relational definition.
So this
in there.
guy was involved, like a few degrees of separation with Charles Manson.
Right.
Well, he was married to Susan Atkins, who was one of the Charles Manson family killers.
Was she locked up also?
Susan Atkins? Yeah.
Yeah. She must have been, right. He likes them locked up. It's safer that way for him.
Mm-hmm.
And also then they never have to find out that he can't get an erection.
And you can get those movie rights. I don't even know. Well, here's the thing, though. I don't even know. Why do you need the movie rights? Anyone can make a movie.
You made it all up.
I know, but does she not understand that? Anyone can make the movie. Like, the movie rights, you would never be able to benefit from it. Like, any movie rights, including your sign-off, would probably be illegal. Right? Like,
yeah. I mean, as we know, but she doesn't know anything. So how's she going to know that? I mean, she doesn't think that anyone would have the right to write her story without her, redlining every single word.
And when was Precious Little, or what was it? What's this Farrah Fawcett movie? Precious Little.
Oh, God damn it. What was it?
I don't know. I only know
That Small Sacrifices.
Small Sacrifices. When would that come out? Small Sacrifices, 1989. Okay, I guess the
book came out in 87 or 88.
Well, the movie came out in 89, so I guess they're still trying to track down those movie rights.
Do you think that she would be different if she actually looked like Farrah Fawcett, for example? Like,
she'd be much more dangerous. Like,
she was already getting dick at an astonishing level.
Yeah, I just wonder if, because I remember I once said to my best friend, "What do you think Sarah Boone would have been like if she was really good looking?" And my friend was like, my bestie was like, "I don't think she'd be that way if she was really good looking." I was like, "Yeah," and then I was like, "But Amber Heard, I don't know if it makes a difference at all."
I mean, Jodi Arias was even decent looking, but she was just crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it really makes a difference, really. I always think it does, because somehow the way people look usually changes the way they act, but these bitches act how they act. It doesn't. Nothing changes it. Interesting.
Yep. What do you think about that, X-Jerk?
I want to suck on your nipples.
All right.
I reporter that the man was.
Tone down the sexual
I like how
talk,
you play it and then you act like you're horrified by okay.
Tone down the sexual talk, X-Jerk. This is. I mean, come on.
Asking me to marry him.
Yeah, Fletcher, boy, you're also right. Lori Vallow was not unattractive. I mean, up until the last. I mean, she's going downhill fast, right? But
right, a lot of them were attractive.
A Black Widow, right?
He wanted me to sign a movie contract. I said no. John Stevens wanted me to sign a movie contract. I said no. So when John Stevens came to visit me, I wanted to know if they were connected. If Donald Lee LeSueur and John Stevens were.
Why does she call him John Stevens? His real name is Frank, and he was the son of one of her inmates or fellow inmates, right? Oh, you should write John Stevens,
the son of her bunkie, basically.
Right. No, his real name is Frank. John Stevens is her stalker.
Connected, and so I said, well, I don't know. I don't think I have a Greenfield connection. Donald wants me to sign a contract, and you want me to sign a contract? He goes, oh, well, then don't let me step on your toes. If you got something worked out with him, go ahead and call him. And I said, well, I can't remember his phone number. I think it's 903 123. I don't remember it. He said 4567.
Yeah.
John Stevens knew Donald LeSueur's phone number. If that's not proof, I don't know what is.
Hey, real quick. What the fuck is she talking about?
She's trying to describe. What was the question?
I've lost the thread for a couple minutes now.
No, the question was, why would you want to marry Donald LeSueur?
I said,
we're still on that question?
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to do. I was playing Donald Lee LeSueur to find out, to get proof that they were partners in this. And they were. And then after I got the proof.
4D chess.
Yeah, 4D chess.
We're done. I got nothing more to say to you. The mailroom can give you all the letters. They can prove to you if they haven't thrown them away.
Another throwaway line by Dan to explain everything. Well, if they haven't thrown them away, because then they would have the proof. But if you throw away the proof.
They can prove to you I was not serious about marrying him. The counselor, the records clerk, actually was so worried about me, she actually contacted
Roberta Young. Sex Derek. That should be your alter ego.
Sex Derek.
I want to make out with you.
The counselor in CIW for Susan Atkins and had Susan Atkins write me a letter. I received a letter from Susan Atkins. She told me, this man's a con man. I wrote back and said, I know. I've always known. You're right.
She knew. She's playing them.
I have the intelligence. to read between the lines.
She's not stupid.
What I don't understand is there's still somebody doing it. I don't know who's doing it. I know it's BS. That's why I said, I don't think I'm King Michael's daughter. That if somebody else is trying to make me...
Oh.
It's everyone from around the country that's writing her, from Arizona, Florida,
She only
Washington.
said someone.
No, well, no, someone is getting all these people to write the same thing because she wouldn't just believe one letter.
Okay, well, who's someone? Oh, she doesn't know who it is.
She doesn't know who it is. That's why she's writing to the FBI ABA guys.
Right. That's why she's looking into it, because some rando has suggested
is coordinating all of this, all the deaths in her family, the pets, that gerbil that died. She wants answers.
Robin says, we can all agree that she's not King Michael's daughter.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that, Robin.
Do you know that for sure?
Sex Derek is always the outlier.
Sex Derek is all who's...
I want to take off your shirt and bra.
Come on!
I'm here to be.
Sex Derek! This is not the time or the place!
Because
I'm sorry, I forgot it's a family show.
What has become of me in my life?
It's them. I want to know who's doing it. I'm not the only person they're victimizing, I'm sure. Heck, they victimized my parents. They got thousands of dollars from my parents by pretending that Rebecca Babcock is my daughter.
Okay, well, if your parents really sent money because they thought Rebecca Babcock or whoever was your daughter because John Stevens is trying to pretend that his daughter is your daughter, they are completely stupid. You're a woman. They would have noticed if you gave birth, right?
Wow.
This is not like this is my child. Like, oh, you're really the father, right? Oh, no, yeah, he's the father. I slept with them. She's the female. How does she make up this story involving a random birth?
But she does love being pregnant.
Yes, I know, but
sometimes you're pregnant a lot and you don't notice all of the births, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's never hidden a pregnancy.
Not right? That you know of.
Okay, right now that I know of.
She did it. How would we know?
But her parents, if her parents sent money, they are completely they are idiots.
She says, let's all write Diane a letter. Can you imagine we all write it? I heard that you were actually the daughter of blah, blah, blah.
Her brain would explode. Her brain.
It would be worth it for the next parole hearing.
You think your dog died of old age? I got news for you.
It was me.
I was hoping they would do an autopsy, but they didn't.
Old age.
She goes, oh, Grandpa, I want to go to college. Can you send me some money? My dad sent her thousands of dollars for tuition.
Why?
Because she said she was Diane's daughter.
I dang well do want to know who.
I dang well do. She got that dang. She's throwing out that dang again.
These people are. Not because I believe them. Not because I believe Donna Lee Lesueur is a wonderful person. Not because I believe that I'm King Michael's daughter. Not because I believe that I'm special. But because...
Probably know me up here, Brad. $4.99. Ex-Derek now has covered his sexually harassed spontaneously, and everyone will blame me. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. Hey. Yeah, Ex-Derek can now say anything he wants and be like, that wasn't me. That was a Hear Me Out clip.
It was clipped.
Right.
Well,
fake news.
Could you really say anything worse than
and then I'll stick my penis in you.
Yes, it could.
Because they're preying on me.
We read the chat log.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that means they're preying on other people. There's no way that they just decided I'm the only one.
Who the F is King Michael? King Michael is King Michael of Romania.
Duh.
Her dad.
Yeah, I'll back it up here because I've been talking over it.
Paul, I want to go to college. Can you send me some money? My dad sent her thousands of dollars for tuition. So
your dad's an idiot. If that's true.
Dang well do want to know who these people are. Not because I believe them. Not because I believe Donna Lee Lesueur is a wonderful person. Not because I believe that I'm King Michael's daughter. Not because I believe that I'm special. But because they're preying on me. And that means they're preying on other people. There's no way that they just decided I'm the only one. For 10 years, Michael Hart never wrote to me. Who's he been preying on? He's been preying on somebody.
Wait, is Michael Hart her stalker or John Stevens?
What are we talking about?
We're asking why she would involve herself with Donald LeSueur.
She's so this
is still the question about marrying Donald LeSueur.
Any of this.
This is still the question about marrying Donald LeSueur.
Shame on them for asking about it, quite frankly.
And because they're preying on other people, this makes her the hero, right? She doesn't care about herself. She cares about the safety of her parents, of her kids who are out there, and all these other people they must be conning in doing this to.
Making his money somehow.
Making their money somehow. This is just like with their explanation of like killing kids, and Knickerbocker is like, you don't make money killing kids, Diane. Like,
yeah, and who's making their money? Who's she talking about now?
Well, it has to be because of money. She doesn't understand how they're making money, but it must be because of money. The secret organization that the FBI guys aren't investigating.
Right.
So are you even paying attention?
Are you even paying attention?
I'm trying, but
sometimes.
It's almost
like you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't follow the ramblings of a madman.
Serious as a heart attack. Must be the money.
That's why I wrote to the FBI. Please help me find these people and stop them. Not just for me, not just for my parents, not just for my children. It's a criminal organization. And yeah, I do want to take them down. Yeah, I do want to find out who they are. If the FBI wants me to give
a little weird laugh,
every bit of information that I can think of, all they have to do is show up at this probably visiting room.
Why would the FBI do that? Hey, we would like to show up for your useless document dump. Thank you.
I will give them everything and then be done with it. But right now, I just save it.
Now, you read the psychological report and the scores that you received on the various tests and checklists that were given to you. There was one checklist called the PCLR.
PCLR stands for Psychopathy Checklist Revised, by the way.
And
do we think Diane did well on that one?
Define well.
Yeah.
Well, high score. Kelp, yeah, $4.99. Thank you very much. Sex Derek acts like warm tapioca pudding was bad.
Particular test, the average scores for female prisoners is 19.
Okay.
That's the average.
All right.
And your score was 21.
She hit the bonus level,
which puts you in the above average range for adult.
You're the above average psychopath.
Adult females in prison. And that score.
And apparently what I read on this, it wasn't incredible. It wasn't easy for me to understand, but basically it's measuring if you have like a personality disorder versus like a psychopath. Like it's trying to like your basic narcissist versus an actual psychopath, right?
Psychopath or sociopath, I guess.
Right.
Equates to you having a moderate to high level of severely antisocial or psychopathic personality.
And what do we think she's going to blame it on?
How did you react to seeing that particular score?
Well, I addressed it in a letter to you, and I can get it out and read it to you, but it's on the record, so if I need to appeal, it's on the record. But it goes back to I can probably do some counseling.
Yeah, probably a little counseling will help me,
Yeah.
But that's not the real problem.
When I get out, because living in prison for 37 years with criminals has acclimated me to viewing life differently.
Oh my God. Don't, at your parole board hearing, don't say living with criminals has changed my, understanding and outlook on life, my way of thinking. So now you have criminal thinking, Diane, even if you were innocent when you went in, now you have been warped surrounded by all these criminals. So now you are one of them. Don't say that at your parole board hearing. Good.
Now she regrets stealing all the pens at work.
Right. Yeah. She didn't know it was going to send her on.
That's her regret. Stealing all the pens at work.
Well, she's not even saying she's become institutionalized. Institutionalized is like, I don't know what I'm going to do out there. I don't understand computers. How am I going to compete in the workforce, right? Nobody's going to hire me because I'm an ex-con. Everyone hates me. Like, those would be genuine institutionalized answers of like, it's going to be very difficult for me on the outside because I haven't done it. I've been in here for over half my life. So it would be hard out there. But no, she's saying, look, the reason I sound like a psychopath on the test is because I'm surrounded by criminals and they've changed my way of thinking.
At least she's had the opportunity. She just doesn't need therapy, obviously.
Yeah. No, well, she hasn't had it literally because she was in close custody because of all her escape attempts. But she's ready. She's totally willing to engage in it. You know, like once a week, outpatient, right? Half hour.
Then you would, or, well, my staff here, probably a little bit.
Let's have another shrimp on the barbie. Hey, Regina, do you know Nicole?
Differently, simply as a matter of survival.
Probably Regina, but.
Regina.
Yeah.
Oh, I said Regina.
Anyway, so.
Regina, okay. Oh, you don't know Nicole? You're in Australia with her.
Yeah, Australia's tiny.
Right?
Hi, Regina.
From what I hear, it's just basically like Mad Max on the interior, but then the rest of you live in like 2 cities on the coast, so you should know Nicole.
Do you think your continued engagement with, I'll use the word that was used earlier, fantastical stories and these theories, and do you think your continuous engagement in that realm makes people feel uncomfortable with your stability?
I mean, I don't even know if this is a question meant to like find an answer in terms of like in terms of parole for an evaluation. This seems like it's just like informational. Be like, you understand when you talk about all this stuff, you sound like you're insane, right? And this is what's making people uncomfortable. You get that though, right? Let's see. Go ahead.
Like asking a small child about algebra.
Yeah. I dropped my next pad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I believe that's why she thinks that is the reason, and then that's why I said it. I wrote about it, and rather than rehash it, I believe that is why she believes that I have psychopathy, because she doesn't believe it. I don't believe it either, but I'm willing to investigate it. So,
no,
yes.
That means you believe it. If you didn't believe it, you wouldn't waste time investigating it. You would say this is nonsense. Diane!
I believe that colored her ability to view me as me. And
so if you were paroled, how aggressively would you pursue these various stories?
Okay, what does everyone think the answer should be here?
Not at all. I wouldn't.
I would not at all. I wouldn't do it at all. I totally forget about it.
I have to get my life together. I have more important and serious things to do.
Right. Because I know these things aren't real, because I don't believe them, and people will no longer be writing me mail.
Because I'm completely sane.
Because I am totally sane. Well, let's see what her answer is.
0.
Oh, that's a good start, Diane.
All right.
All right. On the right track. Maybe a little bit of an expansion here.
0. I would go to the FBI.
Diane, you had it for like a second.
That's not 0, Diane. Going to the FBI is the opposite of 0 in this case.
The opposite of 0. I can never think of what I would go to the FBI on, but you're like 0. Oh, also, I would go to the FBI. Nobody goes to the FBI.
Chatterbait Billy says, to the ends of the earth.
to the ends of the earth.
The FBI does have a hotline though that you can call and drop in your tips and.
Yeah, they don't like you to keep calling it. I've heard.
No, they don't. Apparently, they don't.
Yeah. They're like, we get it. You hate your neighbor. Don't call again.
He's sending me signals in the middle of the night through my water faucet.
And say, you've received my letters. This is what I have. This is what else I have. Because there's other things at home. There's other pictures.
This is not zero.
There's other letters.
This is the exact opposite of zero, Diane.
Incredible.
This is level. This is turning it up to 11.
Everything that I have.
Like,
what?
These guys have to sit there, women and men or whatever. This parole board has to sit there and be like, what?
What if one agent spent like half a day? That's half a day that the agent is not tracking down a terrorist plot, right? Or bringing a dirty bomb or something. Diane, you are making all of us unsafe. I don't negotiate with terrorists.
I'm giving it to you in a big box. If you want to find these people, here you go. If you want to call me, there's some.
I'd like to
I don't know. Like, she keeps talking about all this evidence she has or something.
So
like,
why don't you bring that into your next parole hearing?
Does she have an Iron Mountain box in her cell that she's collecting all this stuff in? It's just like Lorne with his boxes of TCAP stuff that he keeps saying you burn.
All of them.
Fletcher Boy is right. Lauren Owens did call the FBI hotline, right? Can't wait for that. We're gonna have to live stream that trial. I don't know if you guys can take off work at the same time, but it's in January. We have to live stream that craziness.
Something I can do to answer your question and fill in the blank.
Your hair's terrific. Stop wearing your adorbs.
You are.
Well, no, it's not as good as Suma's. Whenever I see Suma's, and I'm like, what?
I don't even have the swoop going tonight, and you're a natural blonde. At least you've got that going for you.
And a natural gray.
And natural gray, which just looks like highlights.
Available. If you aren't interested in finding this criminal organization and stopping them, which I think they are, they just arrested 159 people last night. So they do look for criminal organizations. So if you are interested, I'll help you. If you're not interested, that's fine.
It's not going to be blood on her hands.
But I'm telling you right now, there will be a big sign around the house that says no trespassing. Texas Rangers are on speed dial.
Again.
You're embarrassing us and yourself.
Why Diane, the Texas Rangers?
I don't know, but that's 11 again.
She's not in Texas.
But why don't you just say trespassers will be shot? Like
the Texas Rangers, she's in California talking to an Oregon parole board. What do the Texas Rangers have to do? What, Walker, Texas, and Chuck Norris is going to come and figure this out?
Well, I think
Rangers whose names she knows, the Texas Rangers.
She's tipping her hand because she's going to be moving to Texas.
Yeah, that comes later.
And that's it. I'm not going to go looking. Clearly, they got what they wanted. They want me to look crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, you did that on your own, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was the lightest of breezes pushing her towards that. She went all the way to the edge herself.
And I'm not.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Yeah, we don't need any more.
Miss Lowry?
Hi, yes, I do.
All right.
Good.
Here's our favorite board member.
I have just a few questions. First, I want to touch back on something that you just talked about with board member Taylor. That you kind of started talking about your worries surrounding your safety on the outside and the fact that you would no longer be inside an electric fence and that anyone could get to you. And what that struck in me was a conversation that you had with Dr. Guyton about a previous parole hearing that you had and your conversation surrounding safety that you had then. And It was with Wheeler, Baker, and Felton. And you asked the board, are you going to send me to a location of the board's choosing, as they've done with other high-profile cases in the past? And you asked the board, please don't do that because, I feared for my parents' safety. I finally said something to the effect, I know you don't believe a stranger shot my children. I know you think I made him up, but I didn't. He's real, and I fear he'll hurt my family again. No one else knows to protect my family because no one believes he's real. And then you write, by that time, Member Baker was in tears. Member Wheeler said, we do believe you, Ms. Downs. We finally get it. You aren't making this up. You've been.
Yep.
I mean, this just sounds. See, this is what happens when you talk too much, Diane. This is what happens when you talk too much because they have records of all this.
Telling the truth all along. But don't you think you'll put your parents in more danger by going home to them? Won't he follow you there? So then you write, maybe. I sighed. My shoulders sagged, my spirit broken. I squeezed back my tears and replied, maybe. But if you send me someplace safe for me, I fear he'll threaten my parents to force me to present myself to him anyway. Mom could be out shopping. Dad gets a call from one saying Mom's been in a wreck to lure Dad out of the house into a trap. I was stupid once. I was careless and my children were shot by a stranger. I won't ever let that happen to people I love again. So at this point, Member Wheeler, you say.
Exactly, not intentional. People write shit down and they record it, Diane. Come on.
I was visibly exhausted. She says, I understand, Ms. Downs.
The board members are crying for her.
I don't know how we're going to do this, but I promise we won't separate you from your parents.
I'm going to back it up just a little bit. Just this story makes no sense.
What they wanted.
Taylor, that you kind of started talking about your worries surrounding your safety on the outside and the fact that you would no longer be inside an electric fence and that anyone could get to you. And what that struck in me was a conversation that you had with Dr. Guyton about a previous parole hearing that you had and your conversation surrounding safety that you had then. And it was with Wheeler, Baker, and Felton. And you asked the board, are you going to send me to a location of the board's choosing, as they've done with other high-profile cases in the past? And you asked the board, please don't do that because, I feared for my parents' safety. I finally said something to the effect, I know you don't believe a stranger shot my children. I know you think I made him up, but I didn't. He's real, and I fear he'll hurt my family again. No one else knows to protect my family because no one believes he's real. And then you write, by that time, Member Baker was in tears. Member Wheeler said, we do believe you, Ms. Downs. We finally get it. You aren't making this up. You've been telling the truth all along. But don't you think you'll put your parents in more danger by going home to them? Won't he follow you there? So then you write, maybe. I sighed. My shoulders sagged, my spirit broken. I squeezed back my tears and replied, maybe. But if you send me someplace safe for me, I fear he'll threaten my parents to force me to present myself to him anyway. Mom could be out shopping. Dad gets a call from one saying Mom's been in a wreck to lure Dad out of the house into a trap. I was stupid once. I was careless and my children were shot by a stranger. I won't ever let that happen to people I love again. So at this point, Member Wheeler, you say, was visibly exhausted. She says, I understand, Ms. Downs. I don't know how we're going to do this, but I promise we won't separate you from your parents. By this time, Member Baker was crying really hard, and Member Wheeler said they needed a recess. So they have a recess, they come back. And you talk about your parole plans, and Member Wheeler says, you need to save your money and prepare for an alternative plan, at which point you talked about the plans that you presented, and then Member Wheeler said, listen to what I'm saying, Ms. Downs. Save your money and prepare for an alternative parole plan. And then it rung bells with you, maybe what was going on. And it reminded you of a hearing with Janice Freeman, a previous hearing. And for you, it sounded like Member Wheeler was telling you not to get depressed because, the parole board was going to release you, but they didn't want to put it on the record. They didn't want the media to know the plans in advance. Like she was kind of telegraphing to you, be ready, be prepared. So all of this kind of recitation goes back to a question I have is, do you still worry do you have these worries still about safety if you're released, for your family, for your children, and maybe even to a lesser extent to members of the parole board? You mentioned you wondered if the parole board had gotten the same threats from the same person. Do you still carry these worries about your safety?
All right, that was a very long question, but basically, compiling all the stuff that Diane said that she should never have said, and then saying, well, are you still worried about your safety? But then kind of sprinkling in all this stuff and being like, why do you even want to get out with all this threat stuff? Katie Cat, which I know is Kit Kat Meow, were they in tears? Or yeah, they were in tears because they realized an innocent woman has been locked up all these times. It's interesting they didn't let her out, though, because that was 10 years ago before this hearing.
Because they knew she was making the ultimate sacrifice to keep them safe.
And also to say as a clerk that they needed that.
They were saying, thank you, Diane.
Kathleen says, why didn't she become a crime writer instead of a murderer? Because her books would suck worse than Nancy Brophy's.
Well, she doesn't.
Didn't she write books, though?
Yeah, she wrote 5 books.
She did?
She says she did. But they're science fiction. They were for her kids.
I want to read them.
Okay.
Yes.
So she still fears for her safety. Wrong answer, Diane.
She won't, Carol.
You should say, no, I don't fear for my safety. That's why I should be let out.
Yes, I do. I worry about my family. I worry about all of you.
Oh my God.
Except I've given you heads up, and I've given the FBI heads up. I've given Lane County District Attorney heads up, and I don't have control over that. So there's nothing else that I can say more than what I've said.
So she's giving everyone warning. It's not on her now. It's not on her when they all get killed.
I've asked Mom if she would be willing to go someplace else with me when I parole. She said yes.
What about her dad? Or her dad's dead. Sorry. Yeah.
So past that, that's the most that I can do. If you parole me, then of course I'll have a parole officer. And if somebody wants to get information from...
So this is just her setup of being like...
She doesn't even know what she's saying.
Well, now she's saying, look, I fear for my safety, and you can still let me out if you just don't put me on parole and just release me.
Yeah, because her safety is what's paramount here to everyone.
Well, everyone knows. I mean, the parole board was crying.
Their office, and
I bet they were.
However they do it. Hack. I don't know how they do it.
Hack? I don't know how they do it. Jesus. This is why she can't write books. She'd be like, and then they hacked into the government and they got all the files. That would be just like the line she would use. Oh, I'm hacking in.
Yeah, I think she's killing this.
What she doesn't realize is she already gave a reason. Not that it was a good reason or believable, but she already gave a reason before why this wouldn't work. Remember, she said, well, if you let me out and don't put me with my parents, I'm afraid they're going to do something to my parents to expose me, to draw me out, right? Okay, well, if they, discharge you and nobody knows where you are, right? Why wouldn't they just do something to the parole board to force them to find out where you were?
Even if they wanted to let her out, all she's doing is giving them reasons not to.
Right. I know. That's the crazy thing. She's just giving them more and more reasons why letting her out would be a bad idea. There's no good idea.
They want to, and if she was a normal person, is like, but this and that and the other thing,
Mm-hmm.
Then they could find out where I'm paroled, who my parole officer is, and what county what state I'm in. They can do that, and that would still put us in danger. If you discharge me, then I'm not your problem, and I also don't have a parole officer, and Mom and I can go anywhere that we want to go, and we don't have to worry about anybody finding us.
Oh, so she doesn't need a parole officer.
Sounds very reasonable, Diane. Not that you want it. You don't want it. You just want it for the safety of everyone else, right?
I want to start feeling your boobs.
Derek.
It's true.
About predators. That's why I say I would give the FBI everything that I have and wash my hands of it, because past that, there's nothing I can do. There are so many predatory organizations out there on the dark net. It's not my job to save these people, but it is my social contract to speak when I know something bad is happening.
But you don't. And you've admitted it. You have no idea. It's just somebody here and somebody here and random. You don't know shit.
But she's telling everyone what she's hearing. That's her social contract.
So I've spoken.
It's on the dark net. How does she even know about the dark net?
She doesn't even have a contract with Motown Films.
Well, because she wouldn't sign one. She wouldn't sign one.
Right.
And past that, there's nothing I can do except
for 2 damn months.
For 2 damn months, I couldn't tie my damn shoes. I think my kids got off lucky.
My kids.
I saw the blood coming out of her mouth.
God, that's so terrible.
My family. So that would be my request. I know I'm not here to make requests, but my request is for a discharge as opposed to parole.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. That was a strong finish to the question of.
Can we get applause for that?
Yeah. Okay.
So she's making an argument. Just release me out into the wild.
Yes.
I don't want to have a parole.
Yeah.
She wants to be released out in the wild, not for her sake, but for everyone else's safety.
For the parole board's safety, her parents' safety, everyone's safety.
A lot of nerve is all I have to say.
If she is a parole officer, what do you think is going to happen to him? They're going to tie him up. This organization is going to capture him, maybe his family. They're going to torture him. The FBI, the guys aren't going to be able to protect the parole agent.
She would be happy to have someone monitoring her and her loved ones, but apparently not.
Good night, Judy.
She would try to bang her parole officer, wouldn't she?
I mean, if it was a man, yes.
Or at the minimums, give him a little plastic baggie and say, fill this with your semen.
Yeah, fill this up. Let's
a low what they call it, what she referred to it as, a low tech artificial insemination technique.
Well, that's how that woman Daisy Link got pregnant in jail.
With the Ziploc bag?
Oh, is that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, through the vent. She didn't even. They were like talking
through the vent,
talking through the vent, and he would slip it through. And guess what?
Oh, I thought you were like he was like aiming it, like worms Armageddon.
No, he was putting it in saran wrap, or bag, or a glove, or something. It's almost as crazy though.
Like Angry Birds, just arching it right through the vent.
Okay.
Oh, that's too disgusting, next Eric.
I'm gonna suck on your nipples.
Okay, wait a minute.
You can't start talking about that and not expect me to get all riled up.
So as of this moment, right, in this hearing this morning, everyone's safe. At least.
Yeah, see, Diane, this is where the stupidity of all your bullshit really shines, right? Because everyone's safe, so why wouldn't we just keep you here?
To my knowledge, anyway. Your family, your children, members of the board, Lane County DA, all these people you've warned of danger. Everyone's safe, and everyone has been.
Uh-oh. Everybody's gone.
Oh, please hold on. Like I said, this happens from time to time. Let's give it about a minute.
Okay. He's still there, so apparently it's on their end.
Shut up. Just shut up for a second.
She's way too energized. She should know at this point this is going terribly for her, but she doesn't, which is amazing.
Right.
He's still.
Okay, I think we're back online.
Flora says her children are safe because they have been taken away from her. Yeah, this does come up, I think, in part 3. It's also a very telling thing. It's like remember the Atlanta child murders cases, right? And then they arrest Wayne Williams or whatever. And then as soon as they arrested him, people are saying, well, he's not guilty of all of them or whatever. But as soon as they arrested him, all the child deaths stopped happening, right? That's kind of important that, as soon as you were under investigation, no more kids got killed. It's just like this. Well, as soon as you were locked up, nobody nobody attempted to kill your kids anymore? Like, if they were that dangerous, why not kill them? Like, to finish the job.
So, Ms. Lowry, if you can just pick up where we left off before the connection got interrupted.
No problem. So what I'm saying was, at this moment, to my knowledge, everyone's safe. Everyone that you're worried about is safe, and has been, certainly at least as far back as your last parole hearing goes. So my question is, do you think that you might be a little paranoid about the threat that this unknown person poses?
That's realistic.
This is a little out of pocket.
To you and others, given the fact that nothing has happened to any of these people that you're worried about?
Yes, I'm paranoid, and I'm thankful that you guys are safe.
You hear that? Some guy just screaming in the street on his phone.
No, I couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear it either.
Have you ever seen that movie, A Beautiful Mind? Remember when Russell Crowe just started hearing people that weren't actually there? I think that's what's happening with Sima.
I would rather
out here.
Regina.
I mean, Sima keeps talking about this ex-Derek person that I've yet to see on stream anywhere. I mean, she keeps referring to this ex-Derek guy when it's been me and her the entire time.
Just us.
And yeah. I thought it was a roommate, but apparently she thinks he's on stream with us.
If I had been...
Now I can't tell if it's a recording or if it's actually
Regina. I thought it was Regina. I thought that's how that.
Well, Regina is a place in Canada.
Yeah.
It's the only place it's pronounced Regina. Regina is a name, which means queen, by the way.
Okay.
More thoughtful.
Regina, is it British Columbia? Is that why I know it that way? I'm going to look it up.
And less careless.
There's no
in 1983. None of us
Also,
would be
there was
sitting here
that
doing this
forensic
right now.
files where they found sperm in
My
Regina.
children would be...
You're welcome, Regina.
There is a Regina in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. What did I just say?
No, but ex-Derek just challenged you. Ex-Derek just said there is no Regina. He just called you a liar.
It's pronounced Regina. I think it's pronounced Regina.
Not in Canada. It's not. It's Regina.
Yeah.
Regina?
Yeah. I know that because the first time I ever heard it, I was watching a forensic files where he said that they found sperm in Regina.
Yeah, that's where I would have gotten it from. Forensic files.
What,
I've seen them all. No, forensic files.
I mean, I've heard it since because, but yeah.
Having different lives. Cheryl would probably be married with kids if I had been more thoughtful and taken life more seriously.
Shut the up, Diane.
Maybe I take life too seriously. Maybe I take threats too seriously. But I've lived with people in prison that will shank you for no reason. No reason that you know. I've lived for 37 years with horrible things that I know you're the parole board and you think you have seen and heard a lot of terrible stories. But it's a whole lot different. Just sit in the day room and listen to the stories.
Okay, Victoria Girl, BC. So you're saying it's Regina, Saskatchewan? That's how the city is pronounced? Regina?
No, Regina.
I don't know.
To feel the energy of the people that are getting ready to go and a gang of them go beat some girl up because she had a smart mouth.
What? What's happening?
Just answering the question of saying, does she still worry about everyone around her is safe? Are you paranoid? She's basically saying, no, I'm not paranoid. Or, yeah, I am paranoid, but it's because of this.
Had been more serious, even if I had looked foolish, if I had been more serious, none of us would be here doing this right now. And I look crazy. I look silly. I look.
Okay, Victoria Girl, BC. Okay, so you're saying Suma's correct, and I said it correct earlier when I said Regina. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that both of us are right.
I'll stick my finger in you.
Okay.
Except for you were wrong when you called Regina here, who's just trying to have a decent time.
I said Regina. Didn't I not? Did
yes,
I not?
But it's Regina.
Okay. Well, sorry.
Whatever.
See, Regina.
And I'm the crazy one. Thank you, Regina.
Why isn't it spelled with double E's? Sorry, Regina. I will pronounce it correctly from now on.
I look that way.
Aaron. D nice.
Jacqueline.
Balake.
Because I fear for you. Not for me. I'm in prison. Every single day is a day that I can die in prison. Big whoop.
And we are all waiting for that day.
I fear for you, so I send letters to you for you. And if that makes me look crazy, I'm sorry.
No, she's not sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
I'm sorry I care so much.
No, she's sorry, not sorry. No, I'm not sorry. That makes me look crazy.
I'm not sorry. What if one letter, one threat that I got, I just said, that's crazy. Nobody's going to do that. Come on. These people are powerful. They're important. Well, nobody's going to hurt them. They must know that the feds have come looking for them. And I don't say something. And like Michael Franke walks out to his car.
So Michael Franke, I looked this up. Michael Franke was the director of Oregon prisons, and he was murdered in 1989, I believe, outside the prison. And then it wasn't by an inmate, right? But I know they said it was some drug dealer, and then the person recanted their eyewitness, and then he got released eventually after a couple decades. But she's talking about what if I had sent a letter, or if somebody had sent a letter about him? No, he wouldn't have sent a letter because there's no conspiracy. It's just a random crime of violence.
But
just like you randomly killed your kids.
But what if the person who killed them was the person who killed your pets?
Could also be that person as well.
What if somebody had said something crazy and saved Michael Franke's life? I would rather appear fantastical and perhaps prevent something than to sit here and do nothing.
No, the only thing we need to do to prevent you from committing crimes is have you stay in prison.
We don't give a fuck if you look fantastical. We don't care how you look. We just need you not to kill people anymore.
It's such an unfortunate, for her that she went so hard into this like grand conspiracy thing versus like, something more believable, being like, I had a psychotic break. Right? She probably could have sold that eventually, right? But saying it's the Illuminati and everyone, no.
And that's it. That's my contract with the universe. That's between me and God. And
I thought she had a social contract.
Well, she's got all kinds of contracts. Movie contracts,
busy woman.
social contracts, universe, contract with God, contract with the universe, Motown Pictures contract.
It's okay to keep punishing me? Then so be it.
So be it.
So be it.
Yes, not FBI. This is all she got.
And in talking about safety and your worries about safety, something you said earlier in the hearing kind of struck me. And you've asked this question. I guess you've posed it maybe to the universe, like you've said, why were my children?
Oh, that's a cold dig. You've proposed it to the universe, maybe.
Perhaps. So important that someone had to shoot. So
why were your kids important enough to shoot? Right.
Obviously, one of your children was killed, and two were seriously wounded but lived. So, and there have been again, to my knowledge, no further attempts.
By the way, we are doing pretty good on the likes. We're at 140 out of 281. Let's go ahead and get that up to 200
on those children. So, I guess you're worried about them. You're concerned about them. Do you not think your children have been well taken care of and are currently safe? Do you still worry for their safety?
I think they're well
given the person that's out there.
Yeah. I think they're well taken care of. Do I think they're safe? I want to believe they're safe. I hope they're safe.
They are safe because you're the only one that had any motive to do anything to them by your own beliefs.
I think I will always fear for their safety. because I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened. And so I will always, I don't know why my grandparents were killed. I don't know why my Uncle David was killed. So
your grandparents died in a car accident.
There will always be a part of me that fears for them. I think the only way, I don't know who's living next door to them. I fear for them. Going back to counseling, I could probably do with some counseling. Is it an unwarranted fear? Already they've been shot. I'm sure that Fred and Joanne Hughie fear for them. I think they worry about them. I think Christie probably worries about her children.
Yeah, they only worry in the sense that you could be out.
And this goes back to what? I'm not supposed to worry about my children because, what, I'm Diane Downs?
Yes. Nobody believes you when you say you're worried about your children.
Same thing is on the prison yard. I'm not allowed to worry about them. I'm not allowed to talk about them. I'm not supposed to cry about them. That's what it feels like. Yes, I will always.
That's what it feels like, or that's what it is? Because you state it like it's a hard and fast rule. And now you're saying, well, that's what it feels like. I shouldn't cry about them.
Worry about them.
Okay. And I just have one last question. So you are an individual who, as far back as these records go that we can read, you have been surrounded by drama and perceived intrigue, from mysteries surrounding your birth to the FBI files on you to the attack on your children
It's not
to
her
Michael
fault.
Hart, who, in your words, has been stalking you nonstop since 1987, to receiving mysterious mail from a man in Wales, leaving you to question the attacks within your own family. Again, just like we talked about, to your perceived threat of harm to previous parole board members and family members. It goes on and on. And so my question is, why do you think you're surrounded by all of this? What is it about your personality, do you think, that attracts all of these threads of mystery and drama?
I don't know. That's why I asked the FBI. That's why I wrote to FOIPA. Federal, the Freedom of Information Act.
No, that's FOIA. You are referencing a FOIA request based on the Freedom of Information Privacy Act, which is FOIPA. You're so stupid, Diane.
I'm gonna suck on your nipple.
That's not
I don't know.
Diane.
I don't know the
Derek.
answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Ms. Downs, we've covered a lot of ground on the psychological evaluation, and most of the questions that I had have been asked already by the other panel members. But I have one question for you, and it kind of goes to kind of my inability to kind of connect the things that you've connected. And I've read every letter that you submitted for the packet. I read your response to the psychological evaluation, and as we've been discussing, there's a lot of names, there's a lot of dates, there's a lot of people that you've associated them with other people, and you've made these connections. But
Sounds
it's
like
confusing to me sometimes in trying to understand how you got to making those connections. So I'm going to use an example, and I'm going to kind of read to it from your letter. And this example I'm just using in order to then I want to ask you about it, because I just want to try and understand kind of how you've reached the conclusion you reached, because I think it would help me try to put some of your pieces together. So you wrote the FBI, and this is in your letter that you say your request, this is what it reads. I'm going to read it, quote it directly as written. My request was narrow in scope and to the point. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover file, 1955 birth certificate and footprint of Elizabeth Diane Fredrickson, 1964 encyclopedia entry. That's it. That's all I asked. And the FBI's response was the identified potential responsive information to my request. Responsive to my request says they found a 1955 file with my name and FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover's name on it.
J. Edgar Hoover's her father.
You wrote.
Well, no, all she did was send in, a request about like the name J. Edgar Hoover, her baby footprint in 1955. Simple, normal request.
A quote, and I think this is what they sent you. This says, quote, the FBI's FOIPA program has identified potential responsive information to your request and awaits assignment to a government information specialist, GIS, for further processing. So when I read that, that does not say we have found the file that you are referencing. It's actually a pretty, to me, it sounds like a very vague response that doesn't really say we have exactly what you asked for. It's more like we have found this potential responsive information. So how did you connect in your brain that that's proof that they have exactly what you thought they had? Are you following?
I do. If I was an analyst and I received a letter that says, I would like to know if there is a 1955 file on Elizabeth Diane Fredrickson, and that's all I got, and I looked through the files and there was nothing there, I would say 404, file not found. So for them to say we have potential information means they got something. And all I asked about was 1955 newborn baby. That's it. That's all I asked about. And they said we have potential information. So it reasons with me that they found a file from 1955 with my name on it. I don't know what that file says. I'm not extending, not saying that this means that I was Joseph Bonanno's love child. I'm not saying any of that.
I wouldn't say anything stupid like that.
They seem to have found a file with my name on it in 1955. And I want to know why. Because if there is a file, 1955, with my name on it, and these crazy people have that file, and they know more about it than I do, what are they using? Why do I matter? Why do I matter?
You don't matter.
I clearly don't matter. I was just born. So clearly my parents are the ones that matter. So who are my parents?
Kennedy.
Why do I even matter to these people? I'm nobody. I was a mail carrier. I was a mom. I was a divorcee. I was nobody.
Well, you are nobody.
37 years, they have preyed on me. For what? $10,000? I don't think so. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, I guess here's my question back, because again, I'm just trying to see if I can understand kind of the way you connect information, because again, that response to me is very vague. So to me, that could be here's a vague response because we do have some information on you from some period of time, but we're going to have someone look at it to see if it can be released, which to me could also be information from your murder, could be information from your escape. You might have an FBI file out there, but it could be for completely unrelated reasons to 1955 and J. Edgar Hoover. So to me, like that's a very vague statement. I mean, do you think that it's? I guess that's my point. Do you see that there's other things that could be?
I did consider that, and that's why when I made the request, I was very specific about 1955 Elizabeth Diane Fredrickson. That's it, and J. Edgar Hoover. Very specific. Now, if I misunderstood and they're talking about my escape, my conviction, my SID number 6546106, then maybe that's it. But then why does it take them 2 years and they still don't have an answer? I mean, they still haven't assigned an agent in 2 years. I sent that request in 2016, and in 2018, and in 2020, They still haven't assigned an agent to even look at it. Oh, and if you did, then clearly you know it's, I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to talk about it? Oh, yeah, we know who you are. You're Elizabeth Diane Downs. You didn't trick us by using the name Frederickson. Something. I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my fear has, I'll take you guys out of the fear factor, but maybe my fear for my family has heightened my sense of awareness and my willingness to examine.
Right. Should heighten your sense of awareness of the room that you're in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's Princess Diana.
Yeah. She loves to talk about how unimportant she thinks she is.
But she's a princess.
While also linking yourselves to all these important things like the FBI and
she's J. Edgar Hoover had a personal file on her. Personal file.
With his name and her name in it.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
And a couple of beaver shots.
And then I'll stick my penis in you.
What? Piece of evidence. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe there's nothing there. But why not just tell me? Either there's nothing there, or yes, we have a file on a murder case and escape, and been pretty quiet since then. Why not just
Well, no, you would try to escape 3 more times after that.
say that? How many agents?
And you did write them a letter.
More than one, I would imagine, no?
Does it take 2 years to say that?
Well, of course, don't have an answer for you on that. I just wanted to ask the question that, if you had thought about the myriad of different possibilities. So thank you. I don't have any other questions on the psychological report. Cheryl?
Thank you. Ms. Downs, we will proceed to talk about any potential parole plan.
Okay, so that was the end of part 2.
An attempted murder. I see that the other board members are present, so we'll continue with the hearing. Ms. Downs, before we get to your parole plans, I do want to spend some time to talk about your past criminal conduct. Obviously, at this point, we know that you are denying that you committed murder and attempted murder. But let me ask you this. Why do you think you became the main suspect, and why do you think you were convicted of this crime?
Well, can I answer, board member? I would say she became the main suspect because her story made no sense. Her description of what happened didn't make any sense. She was totally inappropriate in terms of her actions when she got to the hospital, and she said, "Pull the plug on my dying kids." She had a
motive.
She pulled over. Yeah, she's the only person with motive because her boyfriend at the time said, "I don't want kids," and she was like, "Okay." And he thought it was serious enough that he said, "I'm afraid that she killed her kids because of me." And you gave inconsistent answers, and then you proceeded to change your story over and over, saying, "Oh no, they knew me. Oh no, there might have been 2 of them. Oh well, I did this, I did that." You laughed when you were recreating it, and you said stuff like, "I couldn't tie my damn shoes."
Yeah.
So, and then your daughter also named you as
excuses and other stories like that.
And your daughter also pointed at you, figured you as the shooter.
Yeah.
So, and you owned the same caliber gun as the murder weapon, which you were unable to produce. So that's why you were the suspect. But go ahead, Diane. Why don't you tell us?
I don't know.
Okay. You should at least say, "I understand it looks bad." All this stuff kind of look lined up, but that doesn't mean it's conclusive. That's what you need to say, Diane.
I
Look at that face. Look at this crypt keeper in the middle here.
Yeah. Tales of the Crypt.
I don't know.
Do you recall giving law enforcement different versions of what happened?
Their idea of a different version, the night that it happened, I said he reached into the car. He reached like through the window. But I have...
Yeah, you said he reached in through the window, and then you realized, wait a minute, I said the door was open. This sounds like when you're making up a story and that's not real, and then you get confronted with inconsistencies.
It's not true aphasia, but it's kind of aphasia. I can't think of words sometimes. I can't remember.
You're saying a lot of fucking words for the past 2 hours.
Well, the word she can't word she can't think of is "I did it."
And this is a question. This is a question that she should be prepared for, especially if she's planning on making up some bullshit that, you know, obviously, like she should have something at the ready.
Pen, and I won't be able to think of the word, so I'll say pencil, or I'll describe the shape. I've always been that way. I don't know why. And so when it happened that night, I was stressed, and I said, he reached into the car. They said, where? I said, like through the window. Well, he didn't reach through the window. The car door was already open, so clearly he didn't reach through the window. And then I said, he knelt on the seat. And so they took that as changing versions. And that wasn't changing versions. That's my aphasia. That's my inability sometimes when I'm very stressed not to remember names or...
You got it now? Makes sense to you?
Makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay.
Or items, not to remember the name of something. Another time they said I changed versions because I went to the police and I said, I think maybe there were two of them. I had a dream and there were two of them. And maybe the dream, you keep telling me I have lapses of memory. I don't know that I have lapses of memory. You say I have lapses of memory. I trust that I have lapses of memory because you say that. And so maybe the dream is telling me something that I don't remember. They call that changing my story. And it wasn't. I was simply I need to stop trying to help people is what I need to stop doing.
Yeah, you're too helpful.
But anyway, I was trying to help them.
Guilty of being too helpful. That's what she's guilty of.
Guilty of caring too much.
I recall reading that one of your children testified that you had shot them.
Christie.
Why do you think she testified that way?
Christie was 8 years old, and the hospital reports reflect that she was interviewed 56 times in 2 months. They documented her answers in the hospital reports, and Christie told Dr. Bergamini. Dr. Bergamini says she genuinely has no memory of the event. Dr. Miller said Christie said no, her mom didn't do it. The nurses documented when Dick Tracy and Paul Alton and Steve Downs questioned Christie.
Dick Tracy.
And the nurses documented Christie.
Well, apparently that is a real name of his, but
Dick Tracy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because it's I don't know if it's because it's Detective Tracy or I don't know.
Says my mom didn't do it. So that was for the whole time that she was in the hospital. They documented all these reports in hospital records. Christie saying my mom didn't do it. My mom didn't do it. My mom didn't do it. Then she was seen by Dr. Peterson. Dr. Carl Peterson. Dr. Peterson also saw Christie once a week until trial. He wrote reports, and in his reports, his handwriting, which was difficult to read, so during trial, my attorney asked him to read every page, so it's in the record. Christie said, my mom didn't do it. My mom's not mean. Dr. Peterson said, has your mom ever hit you? And she said, no. She spanked Cheryl once. And he said, well, don't you think that's mean? And Christie said, yeah, and she started crying. He said, so your mom's mean. Those are his handwriting, his words in the transcript. He said that. So
Wow.
At one point, Christie came and she said, I want to see my mom. And Mr. Furtick says, I can only see my mom if I say what you want. His notes, his handwriting, his words. And it was after that, Christie said, everybody thinks my mom did it. It almost seems like she did, but I don't remember that. So at some point, Christie finally said what they wanted her to say, and then they told her, you can't see your mom. Now, that's the information. Those are the facts. I can prove those with documents. I still have Dr. Peterson's handwritten notes. I still have the trial transcript. I can extrapolate. I can reason. But I can't tell you why she said it. It appears that she was coerced. She was 8.
Yep.
But I can't prove that. And I have no intention to prove it. Whatever Christie is living with right now, she does not need me or you or anybody else making her life any harder. So I'm willing to live with that.
Okay. And my last question for you before I turn it over to the other board members. Earlier on in the hearing, you seemed remorseful about something you had done in your past that affected the children. But I'm not exactly sure what you're remorseful for. So can you explain to me what you are sorry about?
My children would not have been on that road with me if I hadn't taken them. They wouldn't have been shot if they hadn't been with me. I received a phone call, and I lived a careless life. I lived a life of not worry. The only mean person I ever met in my life was Steve Downs, and we used to fight physically, and I could take him. And so I didn't think about danger. I lived a careless life that was wrong, and my children went with me everywhere. I thought I was putting them first. I always thought I was putting them first because I took them everywhere I went.
This is a new thing.
I really believed that if they were with me, that they were safe.
Well,
and I went out that night. I responded to a phone call, and I took my kids with me instead of leaving them at home or leaving them with my parents, or just not going at all.
Was she supposed to leave them at home alone? Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, what was that?
She's supposed to leave them at home alone? Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, it was her fault for taking them.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe Christie's right. I did do it.
Well, she is right because you did shoot her.
Why would I take that from her? Because if I hadn't taken them with me, it wouldn't have happened.
All right. I don't have any further questions for you on this topic. Board Member Kress.
No questions. Thank you.
Mr. Taylor?
I don't have any questions. It's difficult when you communicate that you never committed the crime, and so it's hard to ask questions about the crime.
And it's probably also hard to get released, right?
Yeah.
Itself. And the only question I really had was the various stories that you told afterwards. It didn't seem like you were confused when you told the stories, because I wrote in my notes that you said that there was a bushy-haired man that did it. Then,
well, it's not just the notes; it's a police report as well. It's on tape.
I read that there were 2 men wearing ski masks. Then I read there was a guy in a car that you were flirting with, and you decided, or the 2 of you decided to pull over and talk. And then you had some marijuana in your trunk, and the plan was to smoke the marijuana together. So I presume all this was going on.
Yeah, while the kids were in the car. What's the problem?
While your kids were sitting in the car.
Oh.
The problem was she loved her kids too much.
Yeah, and she worried. She just, other than her reckless life, she's
just being too reckless.
Yet also taking too good of care of them.
Yep.
And then the individual who you're going to smoke the marijuana with must have seen the gun in your car and grabbed the gun, and everything went downhill from there. So,
I mean, even that story, even the story of meeting the man on the side of the road that was going to smoke weed with you, that is stupid in itself. But then you go ahead and make it even more stupid. As soon as he saw the gun, he just started blasting. What?
Which of those stories?
Were you say something, Sue?
No.
Okay.
Is true, if either of those?
I told police that a man with a shag haircut attacked us. They said bushy-haired stranger, which my attorney later told me bushy-haired stranger is a code word between the police of fake. So I didn't know that. That's how the bushy-haired stranger name got attached by the media. The last one that you're referring to, the ski mask, 2-minute ski mask, that was my dream. I dreamed about that. And so because the police kept saying that I had lapses in my memory, that I needed to think about it and fill in the blanks, I assumed that my dream was that, filling in the blanks. The last one that you're talking about, I did not say that. That is a letter that was written on November 7th, 1984. And it was written while I was still in county jail, and it was mailed from the prison. I guess it was mailed from the prison. I have no idea. There was no envelope with it. There was a letter. I did not write this letter. That's it. It was a letter.
What I was going from was what was in the original PSI. It had nothing to do with years later pertaining to letters.
Oh, I forgot what lie you were talking about. Sorry, parole board member.
Written from the prison.
That could not have been in the PSI. I will go back. I have the PSI. I will take the time and I will go back and I will.
Well, then why would he make it up, Diane? Maybe just assume that he's not insane like you are and he read it and that's what he's put in his notes.
Look at that, because that is not in any PSI. That was written November, that PSI was written in August of 84, and that letter was written in November of 84. November 7th of 1984. At least that's the date on the letter. I don't know when it was written, but it wasn't written by me.
So possibly that was before your sentencing, so it probably was included in there then.
Well, sentencing was in August. Maybe it was in the 1987 PSI.
I didn't write the date down in my notes. That could be true.
Okay, there were two different PSIs, so maybe it was in that one.
And the last question I have is there any validity to the fact that at the time of the crime, you were involved with a married man who did not want any kids, and so you had the kids murdered so that you could be with him and be rid of the kids?
I was involved with 3 married men, and I don't imagine any of them wanted the kids or me. They were married. So that's what the state used because they couldn't find any other motive. We had money, we had cars, I had a job, I had more money coming in. There's no motive. There was no reason for me to shoot my own children. And so that was the state's motive. That's what the state said. But I was involved with 3 married men. Told you, I lived a careless life. I was very careless.
And my final question, just kind of a blunt question. Did you shoot the gun that night, or were you involved in the planning of someone shooting the gun?
Neither. I did not shoot the gun, nor did I plan for anybody else to shoot a gun.
I don't know. I feel like that's a lie.
At all.
Really?
I mean, maybe it's just me. I'm kind of biased, I guess. Because
Hold
I
on,
live in
thought
this
was the
universe.
Diane Downs fan club.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll stick my finger in you.
Okay, well,
I mean, I can if you want.
Just he's so accommodating.
it's just so random with all these disgusting comments.
That's Derek.
I want to move my hands down to your skirt or pants.
Okay, that's a little forward.
And what type of remorse do you feel now regarding the crime that happened?
Well, we already know what this is going to be. I regret being so careless. No, I regret being so too careless, right? You know, and just taking my kids with me. And that wasn't fair.
Because she loved her kids so much.
Just a foolish individual.
I don't, it's like I said, if my children were here, it would be.
Why would it be different if your children were here? You should, and this is Diane, again, one of those questions you have had decades to prepare for.
How do I explain to you remorse? I have self-contempt, self-loathing. I'm angry at myself. I wish there was some way we could have a do-over so that I could make better choices than I made last time. But none of that's going to change anything. And my children, this is my remorse. I want my children to be able to look me in the eye and tell me how they feel. They should have that right to do that.
We hate you. But I could just fill in for, we hate you, or I don't want anything to do with you. You are not a part of my life. You've something
to see each other at all, so or have any contact.
Right. I would imagine it is just like if they've truly been raised well or whatever. Like you are not a part of my life. You're not anything I think about, nor what I want to think about you.
They should have the right to say, I'm angry. They should have the right to say, I'm confused.
Now, Kings of Leon suck, by the way. Don't even get me started, Brian.
Oh, boy.
Garbage.
Should have the right to ask questions and make statements. My remorse, I'm sorry. But it's more.
Okay. She's sorry. Maybe this is it.
More than that, they have a right. I have questions about things that don't matter nearly as much, and I want answers. Could you imagine sleeping?
I love the fake emotions.
And the next thing you do is you're crying and you're in pain.
Because your mother shot you.
And you don't understand what's going on, what's happening.
Because your mother's shooting you.
It smells awful. It smells like copper because of the blood.
From your mom shooting your siblings.
It smells like gunpowder, which they don't even know what gunpowder smells like.
Well, they do because you're shooting a gun. Yep.
I didn't know what gunpowder smells like. And they're riding in a car and they're
murdered by their mother.
They're confused. And mom's not making it better.
No, mom is definitely not making it better.
And I'm driving the car and Danny's crying and Christie's choking. They have a right to ask why. They have
I hate this. I mean, it's not only is it just bullshit. What are you doing here, Diane? What do you think you're accomplishing?
a right to know. They have a right to demand answers. They have a right to be angry. They have a right to scream at me. They have a right to do, Mom, you were the mom.
Mom, you were the shooter, is what they would say.
Responsible. How could you let this happen? They have a right. Remorse doesn't even cover it. Remorse is...
Oh, you don't have any remorse.
There's no word for it. There's no word. It's just emotions with no word.
But you don't have emotions either. You're just kind of fake crying. You're not saying the words because you don't understand how to express it.
I want to start feeling your boobs.
Derek, that is totally inappropriate. We are not even talking about that right now.
He is expressing himself.
I'm sorry. I thought this was an open commentary.
I'm sorry. I thought I had a First Amendment right still.
Last time I looked, this was a free country.
I thought we were living in a free country. I thought this was America. I'm just imagining all the shit I'm going to get in text from Derek being like, why did you do that?
Bethany says, don't forget Diane had a bullet wound, so that's why she drove slow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why.
And that's why it took her so long to find Hungry Like the Wolf on the radio. Hungry like the wolf.
It's a wishing you could get in the time machine and go back. It's wishing. Maybe that's why I fight so hard and I listen to all these crazy things, because I need answers.
No, because you're desperately clinging on to anything somebody would believe other than the reality that you did this.
And you're terrible at thinking of things.
And you want the time machine to go back and just change certain things from the crime so you don't get caught. It is not, oh, I wish I shouldn't have done that.
I need answers. Because someday, the time will come someday when my kids are going to look at and they're going to say, why did this happen? And I don't have the answers. Maybe that's why I listen to the crazy people. Maybe somewhere in there, there's just a kernel of truth. Maybe the FBI can tell me something that I can say, oh my God, here. Now I can show you. Remorse is such a dumb word.
Remorse is such a dumb word. Also, probably not on the top of the list of things to say at your probation hearing.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about, Sue, when I said, like, it feels like this is the Morgan Freeman speech in Shawshank Redemption, but she feels like she's doing her own version, like her own, like, when he's like, remorse is just a word on a piece of, rehabilitated. Why don't you just go ahead and stamp your form, Sonny, because you're wasting my time.
A bunch of letters put together to make a...
Don't know what it means. 40 years in the air. I wish I could talk to him. I wish I could talk to that kid. Talk some sense into him. But that kid is gone. Just this old man is here now. This is the Sarah Boone, this is the Diane Downs equivalent, but we will eventually get the Sarah Boone in 40 years.
It doesn't cover the way I feel. Maybe that's how other people feel. It's not.
I think when she gets emotional like this, these are the parts where she rehearsed it. Like she rehearsed it kind of in her cell when she's got the emotion going, because this is how she had done it. But then she also, at the end of some of these, will go like, what was the question? Because she just kind of went into the soliloquy of the answer, not realizing, this doesn't really fit this question. But you thought you had it on lock. I
think it's off the cuff, which shows how stupid she is, because...
You think it's off the cuff? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Well, I think, obviously it's made up, right? But I think when she's doing these emotional things, I think this is... I mean, I say rehearse in the sense that like she practiced it. Like it's not, she has totally forgotten the words, right? Because it would have been much more like succinct.
Yeah, why would she remember this? Yeah.
So she is going kind of off the cuff, off her rehearsed statement. How about that? We come to a middle ground there. Like she's wandering away from the stuff she actually prepared, and it's coming out even worse. No, Boone does not get parole, but who knows what laws will change in the future, right?
Neither did Diane.
No. Boone won't even get a parole hearing.
Right. Boone is life. Life is life.
LWAP.
Which is also a terrible song popular in Europe.
I don't follow the European pop charts.
It's horrible.
You don't? Take off my clothes.
What?
What?
That's how you listen to European pop.
That's right. It's true.
I want to take off your shirt and bra.
Come on.
It's regret. It's grief, it's sorrow, it's rage. It's self-loathing. It's hatred for people I can't even find. It's an unending hatred for someone I can't even find.
Chicken Shad has a good point. I think she rehearsed it with her bunkmates that hate her, and like geniuses, they told her it was all great stuff. Oh yeah, do that. Do that. As well, let's help with your makeup in here. We're all getting parole today.
Remorse isn't the right word.
No, it is the right word.
Life is Life is by an Austrian band called Opus. Now you know.
Austrian band? Wait, Austrian or Australian?
Austrian.
No.
Australia's not in Europe.
I know.
Right, and there's that. But he knows, but he doesn't think I know.
No, I was just going to say, wait a minute. You said Australian. That's not in Europe, Suma. Yeah. I live in Utah. Just watched that. Remember the body cam face off that we never did round two on?
Yeah.
I watched that the other night. I don't live in Utah.
Oh, is it? What's her name?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Shakira Flabbergasted, but it was the one in the airport being like, "I need to get on a plane." She like her hands are just the entire time. I don't live in Utah. Stop! Like a cat.
Thank you. I think you've described the emotions, so I appreciate that. That's all I have, board member Shoot.
Thank you, Ms. Lowry.
All right, Lowry, coming up to the plate. Oh, we even got a different picture of her now.
Thank you. I'm trying to. One moment, please, Ms. Downs. I'll give you a moment to collect yourself. Here we go. Okay.
Do you need to collect yourself from your little bullshit session there?
So, in the report, in Dr. Guyton's report, she says you guys were talking, and you said people say I change my story all the time, but it's evolving. So
evolving is not changing.
Question is, when will the story be done evolving?
When I go home.
Exasperated.
If you're gonna keep asking me these questions I can't answer, this is gonna look worse. You're trying to make me feel.
I think it's the other one who's exasperated.
Yeah, but are you trying to make me feel even worse?
I said earlier.
Right.
I want to know why. And if the FBI can't give me the answers, if the FBI doesn't have the skill or the facility to give the answers to me, I'm done. I spent 37 years allowing people to torment me with lies, truth, half-truth.
Torment you with lies, truth, half-truth.
Torment you with lies and half-truths.
No, she said and truths. She's tormenting her with the truth, being like, I know who killed your kids.
Red herrings, and I'm not going to spend the rest of my life doing that.
Well, you said the first thing you're going to do when you get out is go to the FBI. So, come on. Diane, do you even remember the lies you tell anymore?
I have a bunch of stuff at home. I have a bunch of letters that people have sent me, a bunch of pictures that people have
at home. You live in a prison. You're
she
at home.
Refers to home.
You home.
You're at home.
You home, girl.
Sent me, and I will give all of that to the FBI.
Nora Jones is great. Right, Coburn.
And if they care, if they want to figure it out,
you already said this answer, Diane.
I will help. And if they don't, I'm done. I'm done. This is it right here. I see that no matter what I do, no matter what I say, it isn't going to bring Cheryl back. It's not going to give Danny his perfect body back.
What?
Perfect body.
Perfect body.
God. That's not a good choice of.
It's not a good choice of words. How about
No.
his ability to walk back? How about that?
It's not going to give Christie her peace of mind back. Even if I found him, even if I held him up and said, "Here, this is the reason."
This is as close to remorse as you're going to get, people.
Yeah.
You won't change anything.
No, it won't. So why do you keep pursuing it? And the original question was, does anyone remember?
No, don't have it.
When will your story stop changing? I don't know that she answered that.
No.
And
Did she say when I get out of here?
Yeah, when she gets out of here, I'm done. I'm done because I'll just the FBI can do whatever they want. When I get out of here, I'm done. So you just got to let me go,
That's right.
or else
That's
I'm going to keep writing letters.
As if it's bothering them so much that it's changing that they're just going to let her leave.
Right. Like Skyflash says, I don't know what to say or how to say it. No, I think this plays into her overall strategy is to say, look, I'm not psychotic. I'm not violent. I won't harm anyone. And plus, you keep me in here, I'm just going to be more and more annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got to let me out, or else I'm just going to keep writing the FBI. But guys, why don't we get those likes above 200 people? We're at 291. It's almost 300. We don't want to have anything happen.
Not.
Okay.
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 So there are a lot of different versions. Mr. Taylor alluded
Did you just say virgins?
Yeah, a lot of different versions.
A lot of different versions.
to that. Versions of the story that have been posited by you
Versions of
over time. Different details, different facts, different reasons why you stopped, different motives from different people, you think. And in discussing this, the story evolving over time, not changing, but evolving, I guess I'd like to give you the opportunity right now to put your final version of the story on the record here today to stop the evolution, to get the final truth out there if you'd like. The opportunity is yours if you'd like it. Otherwise, we can move on.
Evolution is when somebody gives me, for instance, 1983, I didn't know I was adopted.
Oh my God,
That's
you weren't.
evolution.
But
Did that matter?
I'm pretty sure
I
you
write
weren't
to the
adopted,
FBI,
Diane.
to FOIPA. They have a file, but they don't say what it is. Evolution.
Oh, FOIPA, yeah.
I just started a poll in honor of Brian's question. Brian wants to know, do you fold or crinkle your toilet paper?
All of these are
Fuck.
In the bathroom. Do you fold it or do you crinkle it? Like ball it up?
nuggets that may or may not mean anything. Maybe they do, and if they do, then the story's not finished. If they mean nothing, then the story was never written. So I can't give you a final version.
I can't give you a final version because I'm full of shit.
That's what you're asking for, because I don't know. There's still so much left unsaid.
Yeah, the unsaid part is you did it, and I'm sorry for shooting my children. That's the only unsaid part that is left.
Sorry. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how it ends. I only know what happened.
With your death?
I only know what I saw with my own eyes. And past that, everything else is just probably red herrings.
It's all red herrings. And again, I'm just looking at the center now, looking at her photo. This demon, it's like the pedophiles who their faces and everything, their bodies become more warped to look, more creature-like. Just like Diane, it's just like her body is like being sucked out, like her soul, because she has none. She's just like withering away into this horrifying creature of death. I don't know.
Oh.
So after 37
My finger in you.
Okay.
years of analysis, research, questions, everything that you've gone through trying to get these answers. The ultimate question, if this wasn't you, then who? in your heart of hearts, who do you think did this?
I'm sure she's going to name somebody specific.
In my heart of hearts? Well.
Again, if she is hell-bent on believing this is a conspiracy and she has some idea, she should have this answer ready to go. But no, she doesn't. She's like, well,
Even Ann Yeager's there and 20 other people are there. And the hackers that can get into your system are there.
Ann Yeager, I don't know if we know that name. Does anyone remember an Ann Yeager being discussed earlier? And everyone that's in the parole board, I guess, is probably a suspect. And the people that can hack into the parole board are suspects. Okay.
I don't know.
But she doesn't know.
I don't know.
Do you not want to answer the question because this is a public forum and you're fearful?
Not fearful for me.
Ooh.
I'm trying to protect you, Miss Lowry.
Yep. I'm fearful for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 37 years in custody for a crime that you claim innocence for. Do you view yourself as a victim?
No.
She is a victim.
She just said no.
No.
Well, she is. Doesn't feel like one. See herself as one.
She's a victim.
Type.
She knows enough on the parole board not to say, yeah, I'm a victim.
If you kept me here another 37.
Kept me here another 37 years and she starts to cry. Yeah, I wish we could. I wish we could find the fountain of youth.
We hope you live that long.
To keep you alive for 200 years in prison, Diane. I support that public health initiative. Let's keep Diane Downs alive forever in prison.
If you kept me here another 37 years, it wouldn't even balance what my kids have lost.
Yeah, no one's arguing with that.
And it's all these straw man arguments.
Yeah, the argument she's making over and over again in different ways is basically like, there's no point in keeping me in here just to, satisfy all your stupid needs. Just let me out.
But also, you guys don't understand what my kid. You keep focusing on me. You're not focusing on my kids. Yeah, she is a victim of the ugly stick.
Yeah, fell off the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down.
Yep.
I was a stupid woman.
I was a stupid, careless woman.
I could talk to other women. Nobody listens.
You're in prison with other women. You could talk to other women.
I was stupid. Why I wouldn't have? If somebody had told me, I wouldn't have listened. That playing around, that living a careless life, I wouldn't have listened. So,
right.
I don't even know how to make amends.
Well, first off, confess that you did it.
I make bicycles for children. I crochet blankets for children. It hasn't fixed anything. It hasn't changed anything for them. I can't even make a blanket for my kids. I'm not even allowed to. I get a letter.
How crazy is that?
From the DA's office, and I'm not criticizing, but I'm just saying. The DA's office, my love for my children is perceived as a wedge, that I'm trying to drive a wedge between Christie, Danny, Joanne, and Fred. I'm not. I'm not even allowed to love them. But if I don't love them, then I'm a cold piece.
Cold piece. She's a cold piece. No, Diane. Yes, you are extremely going to be a wedge because as soon as you get access to Chris, you're going to be like, you didn't really shoot me. You know you didn't shoot me. They just fed you that line. Why'd you let Danny believe that? Okay, now go talk to Danny and tell him that, I didn't really shoot you. And the Danny's going to be like, no, she 100% did. You see all the evidence? And then they're going to go against each other. That is the problem, Diane. That's why you can't talk to your kids. What a idiot. Yeah, Skyflash, you're all right. So far, it's all backfiring on her.
It didn't end well.
All right.
Are you just trying to make me feel worse, Lowry?
So I just have one more question.
And again, I'll say it in the description of this video, Suma and Extra, go ahead and sub to them. I don't know why I have to keep even saying it. I even put it in the description. Sub to them already.
There are more people subbed to my channel and X-Eric's than there are to yours that are here, so.
Oh my God.
Do you believe...
Oh yeah, I'll take care of that.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait,
I'll stick my finger in you.
Oh, you really want to subscribe to that pervert? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Yes, as we journey towards 5,000.
Do you think
The family show.
Yeah.
Your recitation of the facts of what happened and you know what you perceived with your own eyes, you know,
What
the facts
you
that you believe.
Yeah, what you perceive. The poll, it's at 45 votes. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer, but fold is winning at 70%. To crinkle is 30. I would also be a fold, I guess I would say.
Oh, see, you threw off the poll now.
No, nobody agrees with anything I say on my own channel. Everyone disagrees with me.
That's true. Yeah, we do.
Need them to
I take the most abuse from anyone on the internet. Creates videos.
exist. When contrasted against the record of the whole as a whole, do you think that your story is credible?
Yes.
Duh. Of course it is. Yes?
Oh, I know it's credible
Yeah, of course. Okay.
because it happened. I saw it. I was there. Do I think it's credible?
40 years in prison, not one thing has changed.
Nope.
No.
To other people? No. And I know this is
Think of how many people out there with life without parole are being like, man, I wish I had just the opportunity to try and go for I would prepare. I would nail that. Like they'd be like, I'm going to spend 20 years preparing and I'm going to say all the right answers. And they hear Diane Downs failing over and over and they're like, why even give her this opportunity? She's terrible at this.
going to sound, this is one of those times that I sound flip. But given somebody mentioned my intelligence, if I was going to eliminate somebody.
She's not stupid.
Eliminate.
If I was going to eliminate somebody, she's not stupid. She's going to do it right.
I certainly would have had enough intelligence to come up with a better plan.
I don't even know why people say this anymore. It's like the number one stereotype of the murderer. Yeah, if I was going to do this, I would have done it right. What are you talking about?
And something that was so bizarre, so unbelievable, so off the wall. I didn't make it up. A strange man really shot my children for reasons I cannot fathom.
Well, but we can because there's a motive. You could say that's not why I didn't do it, even though I had a motive, according to you. But your whole thing is that you're so important that the government has files on you.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you. I don't have any questions on this topic.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Downs, let's talk about your potential parole plan. One of the issues that Dr. Guyton identified was your statement that you plan on earning $200,000 by working part-time.
Yeah, this is another Lauren-ish. It's just all these criminals are the exact same level of stupid.
Yep.
And she talks about
ridiculous.
Well, no, I mean they talk about like, oh, I'm going to go out and get a small business loan, and I'll start a business. Like as if it's that easy. You just get the loan, you start the business. Like they have no idea of competition.
They don't want to just get some lame job.
Well, they're in prison. They're like, yeah, I'm making all these things, and these are worth $300 a piece when I looked up online. So I'll just make this many, and then I will make this much money. Like,
can you explain to us what exactly you plan on doing that would help you earn that much money?
Y'all sent me to trade school.
Y'all sent me to trade school.
I've learned so many trades.
Mm-hmm.
My mom recently.
Tell them.
And that's what happens usually when you get out of prison, right? After you've gotten all these vocational classes, right? You become
It's known that people who come right out of prison have a wonderful time transitioning. Most people become millionaires.
They get tons of chicken tendies. They're just swimming in the dough. They're just knocking it out of the park. And they're making our bank accounts look like shit.
Yep.
Needed some trees trimmed. Tree trimmer came out, charged her $2,700 for 6 hours work.
You're a 70-year-old woman. Who's going to hire you to trim a tree?
And I highly doubt the tree trimmer charged $27 to trim some branches. It was probably, I'm guessing, Diane, since you don't understand how the world works right now, it's just like my dad who had a tree in my parents' yard that was dying and ready to die, but you had to get all these permits because the city doesn't want a tree cut down, even though it's dead and will fall into a building. So you had to pay for a $5,000 permit to have this tree studied and removed. Me like, oh yeah, it is dead. That's why it costs $2,700 to remove branches, not because you wouldn't find somebody to do it free. You would be committing another crime, Diane. That's it.
I was trained in that. I was trained so well that my supervisor, before he quit the prison, offered me a job to work for him. That's what he does for a living, and he makes more money doing that than working for CDC. So he offered me a job because I have the skill. I've been trained in all the tools. So I said, Mom, don't pay anybody any more money to cut trees. I'm going to come home and do it for free. She said, I just paid a man $2,700 for 6 hours work. I'm darn well going to pay you. Well, she's not going to pay me, and I'm not going to take money from her, but I could do it for somebody else.
Yeah, but it'd be illegal because you have to hire the road crew to come out and cone off the area because a tree is coming down because, God forbid, people can't cut down a tree in their own yard. Am I going off on a rant on bureaucracy?
A little bit.
I also...
Well, you know what, Derek?
I want to make out with you.
That's inappropriate, too.
I have learned because of my charity, I crochet blankets. I can literally, without exaggeration, I've made 300 blankets. I can crochet
crochet a blanket. Relax.
She doesn't understand market demand. She's just going to flood the... They take the blankets because they're charity gifts.
Just
they're not going to pay.
Doesn't mean you should.
She thinks because she's able to give away 300 blankets that she made, that she could sell 300 just as easily.
Entire queen-size blanket in one day. The girls that have paroled, the lifers that have paroled from here, went online to find out how much our blankets are worth online because we do it for charity.
Now, there is something to it. Maybe if you said, hey, this is a blanket made by Diane Downs, all those like true crime freaks, not that we know any, right? No. Would be like, oh, I own this Diane Downs blanket.
Yeah.
Those blankets sell for $150 a piece online.
Maybe she should start painting clowns.
Yeah.
I could make $150 a day just crocheting blankets.
No.
This is not exaggeration. This is not, oh, I'm better than anybody else. This is, she asked the question, and I answered the question. These are my skills. I have other skills. I'm an electrician. But also included in that was my mom is 83 years old. She's been falling down. She's under the care of a doctor. She could, for all
think of how much money I can make with my mom falling down.
Intents and purposes.
What are you talking about, Diane?
Not even your real mom.
Yeah, she's not even your real mom.
They live in, the state would fund her a live-in caregiver.
Okay, there we go. First nugget of truth. The state will pay me to be a live-in caregiver so we can grift off the system.
I could do that. That was included in that. I'm not going to take money from the state for that.
Well, then why did you even bring it up?
But she wanted to know what could I do if I needed to. I don't need to do that. There are other things that I can do. I've written 5 books. I can publish them. I have skills. I have craft.
I have a certain set of skills.
I have a certain set of skills.
I know how to kill my children.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave my daughter alone,
husbands.
that'll be the end of it. I will not find you.
I will fuck your husband.
I will fuck your husband.
Whether or not he wants me to.
I can make bicycles from the floor up. I could work at a bicycle.
She might have just said, I'm pretty good at convincing men to sleep with me. I could probably make at least $50 on the street every day.
Shop. I could get a business license. As a parolee, I can get a business, a loan, a grant from the federal government to start my own business. And because of the skills that I have here and because of the letters that the prison would write in support.
The grant isn't a loan, so she would be taking money from the government, but she wants us to know she's not going to be a drain on the public services. What are you talking about, Diane? Hit that like button, please. We are at 187. Let's get that above 200.
That. And to prove that I've done these things for years, I could get a grant to start a business for a bicycle shop. I could do that. I have the skills.
She's all over the map. Tree trimming, bicycle shop, home caregiving, blanket crocheting. Like, what are you talking about?
I've been doing it for 2 years. Keep the officers on their wheels all day long. So these are skills that I can do.
She would probably be the first released inmate to be like banned from the office, not from like trespassing, but be like, can you stop sexually harassing our young lieutenants and officers? She's like, hey, young stud. like, oh my God, this woman is incredibly old and thinking she's sexual. Yeah. Just put some semen in a baggie. She still thinks she can get pregnant.
And
maybe she can. Nothing surprises me anymore with these bitches.
Not pie in the sky. It's what I've been doing for years.
Who would go into this business with a psycho child killer? Well, that's the thing, though. And we live in a very enlightened society now, and we all have to focus all of our efforts on trying to make ex-felons successful instead of just helping actual businesses and not raising taxes. But that's just me.
Ms. Downs, Dr. Guyton recommended a high level of supervision. I think earlier you had some...
Nah, she doesn't need high
no shit.
Nah.
He took
Are you kidding me?
Some
Can you crochet a website?
objection to that. Do you think you could benefit from a high level of supervision?
All right. Diane, don't give the worst answer ever here.
Well, I've had a pretty high level of supervision right now, and I've been.
Wait, no, you gotta hear what she says.
Objection to that. Do you think you could benefit from a high level of supervision?
Well, I've had a pretty high level of supervision right now, and I'm benefiting, I suppose.
Dan, if you want to get out of prison and somebody asks you if you can benefit from high level supervision, do not discuss, well, I've had a high level of supervision in prison and I'm doing pretty well.
Especially since you've made several attempts to escape and
several attempts to escape. Dan, do you want to stay in prison? Just tell Diane, you don't have to do these parole hearings. You could just say at the beginning, I want to stay. I want to stay.
A minute ago, she was talking about how she doesn't want to even have a parole officer for the safety of others.
Right. I mean, yeah. But she has benefited from high level of supervision in prison.
So it's not that I object to high level supervision. It's my fear that somebody would use that high level supervision to track me.
Oh my God. You know what? Who cares? Take that risk.
But
very reasonable.
My supervisor would certainly be aware of it.
Makes perfect sense.
So I suppose I wouldn't be overly concerned.
All right, we're at 188 people. Let's get that above 200. We've got 288 in here. We got 100 people in here that have not hit the like button. We can get another 12 to avoid what would inevitably happen.
And
it's not the supervision.
What?
And we'll destroy our lives.
And we'll destroy our lives.
That bothers me. That isn't what concerns me. I am not concerned about a high level of supervision.
Okay. And You've talked a lot about your children. Can I ask you, if you were to be paroled, would you seek contact with them, even if the parole board ordered that you may not have contact with them?
Okay, well, at least say no. You're not going to.
No.
Thank God you didn't answer in the alternative of like, no, even if you told me I couldn't, I would. Thank God, Diane, you got one easy answer right.
Is she done now? Is she done?
No. No.
No, even if the parole board didn't order that and said that there were no stipulations, I would not. My children have spent the past 37 years building a life that is familiar to them, is comfortable, safe, so that they feel safe, so that they feel loved. And I would not, no.
Weren't she crying earlier, just like a half hour ago, about like, I wish my kids could tell me what they want to tell me, right? Oh, I'm so sorry, because they want to know why. Why, Mom? Why? Why did this happen? She's got questions.
Even more important.
Yes. Diane, this is why you practice.
I would not try to seek them out. I would not email them. I would not phone them, text them. I would not try to contact them in any way. And I have written, I have a letter here. It was about Christie, which is on the record. If they do want to see me, I would ask that they see me through the DA's office, so that there is a safe and a controlled venue for them. If they ever want to scream at me, if they want to just talk, if they want to cry, whatever it is that they want to do, I would ask that they contact me through the Lane County District Attorney's Office.
Do you think that, let's say, with some miracle, she was given parole, or even in there, if you think that if one of her kids, adults now, contacted her, that she would really even want to communicate with them? I wonder.
I think so.
I think so, only for the fact of being like, the police lied to you, right? She would want to find them. What she would want to do is she'd want it recorded, and she'd want to like find any nugget of a statement or a doubt, like something that feeds her narrative, right?
Like what you're doing with the pieces of ex-Derek's.
I want to start feeling your boobs.
I'm not what. Ex-Derek, hold on. We're having a serious conversation right here.
I'm sorry.
She would want to find it. She would want to record it for herself, probably not to release it, but just to find anything that she could latch onto in terms of like what, like if she met with her daughter, for instance, and saying something like, I was so confused, right? My daughter said she was confused. She didn't know. And then, went through the whole investigation. And then she named me. And then, or her daughter said something like, I really don't remember anymore. Hey, she doesn't remember. She doesn't know what they fed her. And she knows that I didn't do it, because if she did, she would obviously, who forgets that their mother shot them? I didn't shoot them, because she doesn't remember, like that kind of stuff. I think she would want to do that just for that sake, right? Just for her own narcissism of being her own narcissism, wanting to put doubt into her children's head.
Yeah, you're probably right. I guess I just thought that she might not really want to be confronted by them, because she knows that they know.
But she probably understands that since this is so long ago when they were kids, the memory be fuzzy, just like my own memory is fuzzy as a child, right? Like, so she would know as a narcissist, like she could probably like manipulate them,
I want to make out with you.
Ex-Derek, stop. Anyway.
Kiss your finger.
Okay. You get what I'm saying, right? I think that is more important to her at this point. Right. Because once she's out, it's not, if she's allowed to talk to them, it's not a violation, right? So what does she have to lose?
Oh, it isn't?
Right?
I thought it was.
No, I thought you were saying in your scenario, like if she was released and it wasn't a violation.
Well, what I was saying is, if they even reached out to her when she was released, or more realistically, whilst incarcerated, I wonder if she would be
Oh, while she's
while she's
incarcerated.
Yeah.
I think she would just ignore them.
Yeah.
I mean, she might, or if she did, she would write them a letter that addressed none of the things they said in their letter, and it would be like an answer that she's given to the parole board. Look, you don't remember this, Christie, but in 1984, Donald LeDuc or whoever was talking to me about Donald LeSueur, and then Robert Seaver was talking to me about Motown Pictures, and it would just be a rambling nonsense answer. I don't know why I'm so low here. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, maybe. I just wonder, like, I'm just picturing a scenario like your kids want to speak to you. We're going to come visit you. We're going to do a visit with someone like, someone who's going to monitor the whole thing or whatever, like a person of an FBI guy.
FBI guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she would allow herself to get into that situation.
I don't either. That's kind of more of what I was like, that kind of thing.
She would probably accept a one-on-one, but FBI guy, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody who could possibly have any power or authority.
Like she would never. I don't think
she a witness.
Right. I don't think she would. Like she would agree to a TV interview, right? But she would not agree to a TV interview with herself and a detective, or herself and her children within that same thing, like a back and forth like conversation. She would never set herself up to be in that kind of situation because all she has is spin.
Right. And two people who know the truth that she knows.
And so I got this letter. Oh, I forgot it's in my cell. If I could just show it to you, can I send it to you? I will send it to you after he said this guy confessed that he did it, and he knew all the players, but the FBI won't investigate it. Right. Just like this nonsense. Bleh.
Yeah.
I'm going to suck on your nipples.
Derek.
I do.
See, I think what everyone is inappropriately assuming is that Derek is talking to Suma when he's really talking to me.
No, remember, hear me out.
It's pretty clear that he's talking to you.
Yeah, okay. It's after I get done
that's
talking.
What I think. I don't know. We can hear.
It's after I stop talking. Yeah, no, it's after I stop talking. He says something to me, like
he's just waiting for an in.
Yeah, I'll stick my finger in you. Hear me out. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I can't help myself.
For him to talk to me that way, but
okay. And
okay.
One more thing that the doctor recommended was social skills training. Do you think you need social skills training?
No.
I'm not sure what she means by that, and so
interaction with other people, Diane.
So I don't want to pass judgment on that. I will say that I have lived in a prison with 3,000 women from all walks of life. As I said, 6 and 8 people in a cell. Different officers. Every officer on every shift has a different set of rules, and that usually conflict with each other. And I've been able to navigate that without duress. So
I thought you said earlier that you were nervous because you were always going to get your ass beat. Didn't she say that? She's like, I could die every day in prison. I could get shanked, when I have my hair the wrong way. So what is she talking about without duress? Diane, write down your answers. Remember them.
I don't know what kind of, I wish I could talk to her and find out what she means by social skills training. Haven't cracked anybody in the head. Haven't assaulted anybody.
That's normal.
Haven't become a predator. I haven't needed to resort to legalized psych meds to get through.
Maybe you need them.
But yeah, you probably need legalized psych meds to not be insane.
So I'm not really sure. I don't know until I know what she means by socialized training. I don't know what you're asking for. I don't know what is on the table. So I don't know how to respond.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are all the questions I have for you about your parole plan.
Some plans she cobbled together.
We're at 196. 4 away from 200. We're so close. I don't want to do what has to happen after that.
Please don't make him do it.
Thank you. Miss Crest, do you have any
This is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
questions?
Make other accounts if you have to. Just do what you got to do.
I do. So you mentioned just moments ago that you've written 5 books and you could publish those. I was curious about what the content of those books is.
Each book was written for each of my kids. They're fantasy and science fiction. Dragons, trolls, Valkyrie.
Valkyrie? If you're writing stories about the Valkyrie, how do you not even announce it correctly? Oh, Jackie wants to know what's the story behind the drums. Well, let's just see. Well, no, let's see. Well, let's check the likes here. Or 198. Oh, we missed it.
Not yet. We're not done yet.
Well, what do you mean done?
You playing it is not going to tell her the story. It's not going to explain anything to her.
I think it is self-explanatory.
Yeah, perhaps you're right.
But okay, hold on. I can't find the video. I'll just let it go. But the Valkyrie. No, she's going to say, or whatever.
Whatever. Every book has a
whatever the
style,
subject of my story is,
depending on for each child. So it's not about the case. It's not about prison.
It's not.
They're just. I prefer science fiction and fantasy when I used to read for pleasure, and so that's what I feel.
201. 201.
But sorry, it didn't make it before.
Right.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean by it'll hurt.
How do you know the story?
Yeah, no, did you know the story?
I know about
Valkyrie.
And Ms. Downs, if you were to release in the future, what do you think your biggest challenges for transition and reentry into society would be?
Probably that I didn't take responsibility for my crime.
My biggest challenge is that y'all changed things after I left.
Oh.
There's computers now.
Oh.
Wait a minute, y'all changed things after I left? After
y'all changed it. Y'all changed it.
Tells your car when it needs bread.
Pretty rude that the world didn't stay the same.
I don't know how to bank. These are the classes.
Has banking changed that much? I mean, the concept of banking. You got to have enough money in your account to pay for things. It's gotten easier.
Mr. Accountant. You tell us.
I would say it's gotten easier. It hasn't gotten more difficult. Like, you don't have to keep the paper ledger book, like balanced checkbook. It's all online.
They need to teach the lifers in prison. We still haven't been able to get those started, but I need to know how to bank.
We still haven't been able to get those started.
I need to know how
She's got a turd in her pocket.
to get a driver's license. Everything is by computer. I don't understand.
Well, I thought you said you took computer courses, so you would know.
And electronics courses.
And plus, you're planning on starting an e-business, I presume, by your crochet thing. Or she's not even talking about e-business. She's just going to do word of mouth.
Yeah, people are just going to come to her.
She's going to open up a business front. She's going to open up a business. Diane Downs crochet blankets. She's going to sell
Downs suffocating blankets.
Yes.
Any of that.
Blankets.
I learned to work a computer by being a clerk.
Blanket's so good it'll kill you. It'll kill you not to have one of these. Why is it not playing?
And thank goodness I had another inmate that had been a clerk before me. She taught me. She taught me everything she knew. I'm sure there's a whole lot of things I don't know. A whole lot of things.
Whole lot.
Yeah, okay.
And if you were to release, where would you see yourself, let's say 5 years post-release? How do you think your life would be progressing at that time?
I'll be
Hopefully she'll be dead, but we know she's still alive in 5 years.
73.
Well, you're using a cane.
Probably going to need a cane for sure by then.
Yeah, because you're a giant.
Probably still doing volunteer work. That's my goal, is to do volunteer work.
That's your goal.
My dad passed, and I have an inheritance.
What?
And 2010, the parole board told me to save money. I saved money. I got money saved up. So that's enough to get me on my feet to start with.
No, it's one of the things she says in the transcript.
It makes no sense. Yeah.
I mean, I would, if anything, I bet it was when she would say, like, I have $1,500 and, like, you need to save more money, Diane, like, when you get out, because you're going to have to put a deposit down on an apartment, right? $1,500 is going to last you like a day and a half.
I'm serious about the
She's going to make $200,000 a year, I thought.
Right, but not like the first week. Right, it's not like the first week.
Blankets.
She's also a princess.
She's Anastasia.
Just don't know how much money's in that. So, and it's something that I do quickly and I do it well. So I know that I would have a steady income. I'm not worried about that. And it's something that a 73-year-old woman can still do. But I also would like to volunteer. When I first got my job refurbishing bicycles, I cut a check and bought a whole bunch of parts because we don't get very many donations. So I bought a bunch of parts, lots of seats, tubes, tires, things to make the bikes new again, paint, so the bikes would be new again for the kids. And when I cut the check, Mom said, "What are you doing?" And I told her, and she goes, "Oh, we have a whole bunch of those bicycles at the Salvation Army." And I said, "Mom, we can go get those bikes. We can refurbish them." She said, "Okay." So that's charity. You can't sell those, but you can take them. What we do here is we take them to the poorest schools in the neighborhood. We take them to the poorest of the poorest schools. These are kids that'll never have bikes. And so Mom and I already talked about, I can refurbish the bikes. Unless you don't let me go there, but I'm just saying I could refurbish the bikes and we could take them to the different places where the kids, we could work with the prisons or with the sheriff's department, the Texas Rangers, and find out where the poorest kids are and donate them.
What'd you say next, Eric? Sorry.
The Texas Rangers need the bicycles.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Forget the fact that they're not in Texas, but whatever.
But eventually she will be.
Why though?
Do Texas Rangers even ride bikes? It's horses or cars. What are you talking about, lady?
Also, why are they letting her talk?
I think it's just fun. I think it's just. I honestly think it's entertainment factor at this point. They're like,
love
this
to
is
hear their conversation.
You get the legend of Diane Downs in a parole board hearing after the first couple. You're like, man, what is she gonna say?
Yeah. Right.
Just like, look, I got a letter from Sarah Boone. What is this gonna say? Right? Or I'm going to let Sarah Boone get up on the stand and talk. Hey, Sarah Boone, why don't you talk about what you think should happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would you want to be let out of a suitcase? I suppose, eventually.
I guess. Eventually. I wasn't doing anything else.
That's charity. That's not an income. But that's, at 73, that's all I would be doing is charity. They're not going to let me do.
So no income.
A ditch. I could, but they won't.
She'll make her hundreds of thousands easily, and then she
Thank
could
you.
focus
Those are my
on
only
charity.
questions.
Ditch checking is very
Mr.
lucrative.
Taylor.
Also.
It is a lucrative business.
Ms. Downs, do you agree that if required that you would take or participate in counseling programs?
Yes. Yeah, I believe I could benefit.
Are there things that you would object to if the parole board required you to take them?
No. I don't know. I can't say until I hear what it is, but I can't imagine any counseling that I've ever objected to yet. In fact, I've enjoyed it. It's been liberating.
Liberating.
Okay. In your parole plan, listed, 3 options for your reentry. And I think I know which one would be number one, but can you describe for the board what would be your number one reentry for housing upon release, if released?
My number one is mom, is going to take care of mom. That's my number one. Number two?
Yes.
Number two, the Veterans Transition Center here in Monterey. They have accepted me last year, 2 years ago, I guess. No, it was last year. They accepted me. They said, all we need to do is know what day to come pick you up. So I went through all the procedures. They also have the self-help programs that you talk about. They have 58 military volunteers that they teach the classes and different things. So they do have those programs that you were talking about. Right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
That Diane's basically number one choice is to live on a military base surrounded by soldiers, and she thinks soldiers are only men, which she says in a later sentence. So she wants to be surrounded by a bunch of men in uniform when she gets out of prison. That's going to be her ideal place to live.
Yeah, of course.
All right, and also I'm going to dip out. It's 12:30.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, you might still make some verbal
you'll
comments.
probably
I don't know.
still be
Yeah,
saying
apparently I'm
disgusting
still going to
things,
keep talking. So
Yeah.
I want to move my hands down to your skirt or pants. Remember to kiss your finger.
Oh, I didn't play this one yet.
I'll lick your clit.
Oh my God! Derek! What is that? That's disgusting.
I'm sorry. Diane's just too
Yeah, Diane is
tantalizing. She's titillating.
Good night, Derek.
Good night, Derek.
Rose,
kissy face, hard eyes.
Delete your archives.
On the base. It's on the Fort Ord base.
I'm familiar with the base. I think that would be an excellent program for you because of their success rate.
Yeah.
And
yeah, 100%.
The fact that, it was discussed earlier, that you need those social skills. And obviously being incarcerated for 37 years and living in a living situation with other women is not the same as being out in society.
I'll say.
And so those social skills are skills that you'll need to navigate society. Because as you said, the world has changed. And I think that going through from what I understand, it could be up to 24 month transition period if you were to be housed there.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you couldn't communicate with your mother, but
right.
I would, if you were paroled, I would highly advocate for making that your number one choice.
I would be agreeable to that. I would not be opposed to that. I think that your screen's doing things. Okay. I think that there are benefits to that. They are military men and women that, they're already structured and, they have been living in the real world. So yes, I agree. I think their program would be beneficial. Yeah.
And just one comment, you said that you would not seek to communicate with your children unless it was approved by the authorities and your kids agreed to it. I would also take that a step further. We talked about books that you could publish and that the books were based on your children. And I don't know, since they're science fiction, if your children would be named in those books. Sometimes even when names aren't given, by the fact that they're written by you.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No. Nobody would ever recognize any of my children in the books, ever. No.
Okay.
No.
I just want to make sure that if your kids read them, that they would not recognize themselves?
No. No, because
you can't.
Well,
no, because it's not about my kids. I don't give a shit about them. I just wrote it for them.
Because I wanted to make sure. I went through all the books to make sure. No, none of them would even parallel them. I didn't write the books about the kids. I wrote the books for the kids because I want to publish the books and designate the money to them. So the publishing house would send the money directly to them, not to me. So when I said write the books for the kids, I didn't mean that they were about the kids. It was for the kids. Income.
Okay. Yeah. My comment was going to be it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And so just be careful, if you were to go down that road, that your kids, if it's important, that they were on board with that.
Yeah. No. It's not about them at all. And that's why I'm like, no, there's nobody in the book that even resembles them. So,
okay.
No.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have, Board Shoe.
Ms. Lauer.
So, Ms. Downs, earlier you and I talked about your fears for safety and release for yourself, for your family, for others. We talked about, your admitted paranoia surrounding those fears. So my first question is, what is your plan to deal with those fears when they crop up inside of you if you were to be released?
Okay, do you see my demeanor changed after Mr. Taylor said that he preferred the military base? I smiled because as much as I want to go home and take care of Mom, I believe that if I went there first, that would make my mom safer. So that immediately gets rid of a whole lot of paranoia right there. Because even if this is my imagination, even if this is just some crazy person saying things to make me feel insecure, living on the Fort Ord military base, which isn't fenced, that's not the point. Living there with other military-minded people makes me feel safe, number one, makes me feel that if somebody was wanting to hurt me, they know where to find me and not at Mom's house. So it relieves it takes my paranoia down to 0.5, like almost nothing, simply because of that. Mom will be safer if I'm at Fort Ord. My brother will be safer. My family will be safer. And I would be safer. I'm good with it. I feel better. A lot better. So.
Jaquir arms. Jackie. I can't read ever. Jackie Armstrong became a new member. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so then I guess the flip side. So say that you parole.
Yeah, it's kookaloos. These are all kookaloos.
To Mom's house. What's your plan to deal with that fear that you feel?
I feel very alone up here. I just got to be bombarded with X-Derek's comments of.
I want to start feeling your boobs.
That's inappropriate, X-Derek.
Just in time.
What?
I made it back just in time.
Okay, good.
Point of duty is to get. Earlier, you asked who I thought was preying on us.
Yes, Diane, answer this.
My first order is to get a restraining order against that person.
Okay, that's not a good answer, Diane. You're going to get a restraining order on the person. The first thing you do when you get out, this is how you're going to adapt, meld back into society and disappear from everyone. You're going to start asking for restraining orders.
And do we know exactly why she's in danger?
Because somebody tried to kill her kids and set her up for life in prison. So obviously she's in danger.
And do we know why she's saying this? What her point is?
To prove that she wasn't the one that shot her kids.
I mean, you'd think that just to keep her safe, it would be a good reason just to keep her incarcerated. No.
Well, that is ultimately what they would end up doing. But Diane is so committed to the lie that restraining Restraining order against who? Well, as soon as the FBI guys figure it out and tell her who it is, then she'd apply for the restraining orders, and then she's going to put up the signs like Texas Rangers on call.
The Bushy Man Quilt Mafia.
Yes.
Even if it's wrong, even if it's imaginary, to get a restraining order and then to notify the police and have them on speed dial.
Okay, well, that doesn't sound like you're going to be not a burden on public services, Diane. We shouldn't let you out. Why don't you just say all the worst things in your parole hearing as possible? Oh, wait, you're already doing it. Thank you, Diane. Once again, never do this in your parole hearing.
And that's it. I mean, what else can I do? Be aware of my surroundings. Anytime I leave the house, make sure that I'm aware, which prison has taught me to do. Anytime you leave the unit, you look and you feel and you watch. So that's it. A restraining order, and let the state police know that I have fears, real or unfounded. I have fears, and I might be calling you. Please take it seriously, at least the first time. At least the first time.
Okay. And what is your plan if the evidence presented at hearing, the judge won't grant the restraining order, or the state police tell you, go away? What do you...
$1,000
Yeah.
extra, maybe 200 to do the circuits. But he said we could do that ourselves, probably. Yeah. Okay.
If you could please mute your phone, whoever's talking, please.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay, we didn't hear anything.
She's such an asshole.
Somebody leaned on the button, I think.
I muted myself. Okay, so I'll ask the question again. So what's the plan, if you're not granted that restraining order, if the state police don't help you, how are you going to handle those feelings inside of you and that fear? What are you going to do?
Well, the feelings I will get counseling for anyway, no matter where I am. So counseling, definitely. I think as time goes by, if nothing happens, which would be awesome, then it will resolve itself in time. I mean, if my fears and my paranoia is based on provocation, and the provocation stops, then there you go. Mom has the only phone number anybody has is a landline, and at Mom's house. And Mom says the day I come home, she's getting rid of the landline. So we can't have phone call provocation. Mailbox provocation, it will go straight to the FBI, complete with fingerprints and DNA. So that also would make me feel secure. And because even if nobody's doing anything, just like it's the illusion of evil, maybe there's the illusion of good. And they can all just... but I don't have to. My frustration in here is my hands are tied. I have no access to finding out if this is true or not true. And so I have no way of knowing if anybody's doing anything about it. For all I know, the FBI is. And they're not going to tell me any more than I'm going to give a name to the people right here. So, but once I'm out and I have a visual and I sit in the office with an FBI agent, and he goes, Miss Downs, really? Come on. Maybe that will make me feel better. But for sure, psychological counseling. For sure.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you. But we've covered in this topic what I was going to ask, so I don't have any additional questions.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Downs, can I ask you, I don't know, were you planning on asking either your brother or your niece to speak today?
To ask them? No.
No? Okay.
I hadn't made arrangements for them. They wrote letters, and I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay. I have read the letters, and I'm sure the other board members have as well. So thank you. I just wanted to clarify because I know he's listening in.
Yeah.
Okay. Normally at this part of the hearing, we'd ask any victims or victims' representatives to make a statement to the board. No victims have come forward to express an interest in making the statement today. However, I want you to know that the board does keep the victims in mind when we hold these hearings and when we deliberate. Next, pursuant to ORS 144120, subsection 7, the district attorney from the committing jurisdiction shall have the right to appear at any hearing and may present information or evidence subject to such reasonable rules as imposed by the officers conducting the hearing. I believe we have a deputy district attorney from Lane County, Ms. Miller.
All right, so this is the part we've been waiting for. This payoff of this takedown by a cognizant person who has been listening to this entire bullshit is going to put Diane in her place. Sorry, my chair is failing me. One second. This is probably one of the most satisfying prosecutorial statements ever. Here we go.
On the phone or perhaps via Skype. Ms. Miller, can you hear us?
I can, and I'm listening to you via my phone, which has now been unmuted. And do you hear me okay?
I do hear you okay, Ms. Miller. Whenever you're ready, if you choose to do so, you may make a statement on behalf of the committing jurisdiction.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And board members, my name is Joanne Miller, and I am a senior deputy district attorney here in Lane County, and I'll be speaking on behalf of the Lane County District Attorney's Office, surviving victim family members in regards to the hearing today. I just want to talk. I don't want to belabor the point that I had already made in writing in addressing the board, but it's important to touch upon some of those concerns because they.
So she had written the board beforehand saying, "Hey, these are all problematic issues," and then nothing Diane said alleviated those concerns. Go figure.
They exist even after today's questioning, and it seems to me, at least, that we're sort of exactly where we started. And what I mean by that is, with regard to the disorder, it is apparent that that Ms. Downs is suffering from mentally. It seems as though we are exactly where we started when the crimes occurred initially, and that is to say, and as well as all of the psychological reports which have been consistent throughout in diagnosis, specifically, narcissistic personality, self-centered, manipulative, and other antisocial features. It appears to the state, based on this 36, 37 years worth of history, that we are exactly where we started with that, with zero progress, zero accountability, and just about 100% unending efforts to actively deceive any body or agency that will listen to Ms. Downs, and nothing has changed in that regard. And so the state's position is that is what originally made her dangerous. That hasn't changed. The state's position is that Ms. Downs remains dangerous because of that. There has been today some questions that also lend itself to that. And part of that is we go back to some of the initial questions, such as what thinking drove your criminal decisions, because Ms. Downs had talked to you about going to some of those the criminal thinking error classes, and her response to you was, "Well, I minimized and I justified."
Yeah.
But when questioned further about that, the minimization and justification was with regard to others, not even her, maybe stealing from the chow hall. And the only thing she really talked about in terms of justification was that she had wooden shelves. So the comparison between having an unauthorized wooden shelf and shooting your own children at close range, within 9 inches with a firearm, is absurd. There's no comparison there. So we've gotten nowhere. The questions
So the DA is basically saying, hey, it's exactly like we were in 1984, which anyone who listens to these would naturally draw the conclusion that, yes, we are exactly like we were in 1984. She's made up more like ridiculous details, but she has not changed at all. What do you think, Seema?
Yeah.
I mean, the DA sounds exasperated. Like she's flipping. You could hear her flipping between the pages of the notes. I wonder how fast she was scribbling down, being like, "Are you kidding me? These are her answers."
Yeah, I think she's like, is this a joke? Like, why are we still talking?
Regarding escape attempts and criminal thinking errors, if she didn't get caught, there was no criminal thinking error, right?
Yeah. Yep, that does sound right, because she said she only tried to escape one time. And there's no criminal thinking on the other escape attempts.
And this is what she explains to you. She says the only criminal thinking error I made was the time that I was actually caught, because she succeeded. But even when she answers that question for you, she's really not talking about criminal thinking error. She talks to you about she had no hope, lost her appeal, and didn't care if she got shot going over the fence. So none of these really go at all to a criminal thinking error, just a remorse for having been caught. And so there's no accountability. So there can be no change. There's been no self-reflection, and the error Downs believes she made was in getting caught. After an 8-hour evaluation with a psychologist whom she invites to write a book about her, you talk to her about that evaluation and about these fantastical components to her responses. And Miss Downs continues to tell anyone who will listen that the story is evolving. The story is evolving because I'm hearing through third parties. Somebody else tells me these things, and so it's just a continuation of conspiracy theory. And when presented and confronted with conspiracy theory questions, the response is further conspiracy. And at one point, she's asked about there's this intentional misunderstanding of the questions that are posed to her. And one of those you ask about, you're dialing in a little bit on this perception from the psychologist, and Ms. Downs responds to you that, the psychologist made the choice to misconstrue my positive attitude, the positive attitude that I've had while I've been incarcerated, as the basis for the psychological disorder. So this is a minimization. It's intended to distract the listener and move the listener away from her accountability. And this is a minimization of her own violent involvement. When she talks about criminal thinking errors, she talks to you quite a bit about seeing criminals everywhere, having been institutionalized with criminals. Again, there's a separation. She wants to distance you, the listener, from her and the other criminals that she does see within the institution, and the criminal thinking errors classes that she takes. She finds that other criminals, not her, but other criminals within the institution do share some of the characteristics that she's learning about, but again, not her. And there's again this distance. So there's zero insight into her own thinking errors. And the most absurd one, of course, is the fact that she's apologizing and appearing to be emotionally distraught today now for the first time before you, because she's sorry that she put her kids in the car to go driving after 10 p.m. in the evening. And that's of course absurd, because the criminal thinking error is not that she drove in a vehicle after dark with her children. The criminal thinking error, of course, is shooting her children.
No, she's saying she was a careless woman, and now she's no longer careless, and that was the criminal thinking.
Close range, killing one of them. So that's the degree to which Ms. Downs desires to distance the listener, the board, other agencies from her crime. In moving through some of the notes, briefly here, just through some additional notes from today, and Mr. Taylor asked a great question today about the brokenness Ms. Downs referenced experiencing in herself. And all of the explanations and answer to Mr. Taylor's questions were about survival mechanisms in prison or within the institution, or good memories of her children, or how she's learned to think quickly and think on her feet. And so these are all narcissistic responses from the state's perspective. There's nothing
from the state's perspective, not from reality, just because they happen to all be about her.
In that answer about brokenness that would lead the listener to believe that any of that comes from the pain suffered by her children from being shot by their mothers. When you question Ms. Downs about these letters she received, she is actively engaging with folks who she sometimes terms as nut jobs, and sometimes as folks that are at least believable enough. She feels the onus has been put upon her to forward those communications to agencies like the FBI and so forth. But she says in response to some questions around that that she's not a danger because of that. And she said she's not a danger for violence because, as she said, quote, I'm in prison. And that's, ultimately, the state would agree with that. She's not in danger for the kind of violence that she committed because she is in prison. And when Ms. Downs talks about the continually being preyed upon, it's by a they. And there were numerous occasions today where she had been specifically asked about, who is preying on you. And most times the response is this they. So again, distancing the listener and moving as far away from her crime as she can. You touched upon some of this there at the end of your hearing, but when asked about safety concerns upon her release, Ms. Downs talked a little bit about that, but ultimately asked you if her preference would be to be released without supervision. So that's significant for the state. And again, the response when you ask her why, it's because she's learned to be paranoid within the institution. And that, the most of the time that she has acted in terms of sending information out to the FBI and so forth, and to the board, and to the DA's office, is because she claims that she fears for others. So this is part of this fantasy, because she was confronted directly today by a board member about that. Everyone's fine. There's no one has asked her anyone, and the only one that appears to be caught up in these fantasies is you, Ms. Downs, essentially. And why do you think you attract that mystery and drama? And again, the response is, I don't know. For 37 years, they've preyed on me, and so basically, her response in every instance is a furthering of the conspiracy. I don't know why they are after me. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And none of that speaks to any self-reflection or...
So I guess this is why you don't make up shit for decades when you're trying to get out of prison. Right?
Yeah. I guess.
Who would have known this would have gone badly?
Was going through her mind at the time she committed these crimes, or the horrific results experienced and suffered by her children.
She's pissed because she could have been somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been
nobody.
Somebody.
What she is.
One moment, please. Good mind knows.
And a contender.
Could have been a contender.
And so I think I simply want to finish by saying and urging the board not to become engaged by Ms. Downs or these fantasies or conspiracies, but to see them for what they are, which is a way for the inmate to distance herself from these crimes, and to lead others to believe that she's suddenly safe to be released into the community, and even without supervision. And from the state's perspective, that would be as improper today as it would have been at the time, upon the receiving of the guilty verdict and sentencing. Because we have gotten exactly nowhere with regard to any sort of rehabilitation. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Do the board members have any questions for her?
No, thank you.
I have one question, and DDA Miller, the only thing I wanted to know is, can you confirm what your office's kind of final understanding of the motive was in this case?
Well, there was 6 weeks worth of testimony and evidence presented to the jury in this case, who found Ms. Downs guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of murdering one of her children and attempting to murder the other two. Part of that evidence was the fact that they had uncovered communications and so forth between Ms. Downs and a love interest who was not interested in having children or raising children. And of course, at the time, she had 3 children. So if that's your question with regard to motive, then that was part of that evidence. I hope that helps.
It did. I just wanted to get kind of, because I read through all the documents, but I just wanted to understand what your office's perspective of the final kind of decided motive was. But I think I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and the fact finders used information and evidence, and some of that evidence pertained to a sort of love interest who Ms. Downs was sort of involved in an obsession with, and who did not want and was not interested in having children. And those communications resulted in some evidence in that regard. And then, of course, the fantasy with Ms. Downs surrounding that.
Thank you.
Okay. And I don't believe I saw the other board members shake their head when I asked if there were other questions. So I don't believe there are any more questions for Ms. Miller. Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Miller. We appreciate your participation. Ms. Downs, you have the opportunity to respond to Ms. Miller's comments. If you choose to do so, please direct your comments to the board and not to Ms. Miller herself.
No.
Okay. Well, we will also give you the chance to make a closing statement if you choose to make a closing statement. So if you do want to make a closing statement whenever you're ready, please do so before the board deliberates on your case.
My closing statement is, I'm 65. I've been in prison almost 37 years. I have reflected. Contrary to popular belief, I've done nothing but reflect. I've spent many, many years in ADSIG, all by myself, single-celled, and that gives you 24 hours a day for 8.5 years to reflect. I think about my kids every day. I worry about them. I pray for them. I hope for them. I think after 37 years.
I think she's really going to bring it home here. She's going to undo all the damage she did, and she's going to convince them. Yep.
I have a great feeling about this. I will give her this. She does not carry on about God, at least.
Right.
At least that. There's that.
Just the conspiracy. The conspiracy.
Right. I'll take it over God.
In prison.
Wow.
And at the age of 65, I agree with Dr. Guyton.
You know, I haven't seen here in a while. Dana 420, or is it, Dana 420, Diane 420?
I don't know. I don't know that name. I don't think.
No.
I'm not. I'm low risk for violence, low risk for danger, low risk for anger. I wish I could turn the clock back
and redo my crime
and do it right.
Undo everything that was done, but I can't. I wish my children had the opportunity to say to me what they feel. Because
they hate you. I can just tell you right now, Dan, they hate you.
I think that would be more,
if they think about you at all,
cathartic than anything that they've been through.
But it's only because of what you want, not because of what they want.
I would like to go home.
Oh, really? Jeez.
I would like to be able to give back to society. I would like to be able to prove to you, all of you, that I was a low risk. And
was a low risk?
Yeah.
What's with the past tense, Diane?
I mean, is she mean like 5 minutes ago I was saying that, or?
Yeah. I was a low risk, and then she gets out, and then she's like,
suckers.
Like, I was a low risk, but you waited too long to let me out.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to, before I die, find a way to atone, whether that's...
confess to your crime. That's the first step, Diane. First step.
And even then, you're not getting out.
Low risk for pregnancy. Yep.
We can't.
1,000 blankets and
like
refurbishing 1,000 bicycles, whatever it takes. Maybe going to the prisons to talk to people that have been in the situation that I have. I've met a lot of hard-headed girls in here that don't want to listen, but maybe they could learn from my experiences. Maybe I'd like to find a way to atone. I don't know that I ever can, but I'd like to. That's it.
Strong finish, Diane.
Thank you, Ms. Downs.
Strong finish, Diane. And that's basically it.
Before I conclude the hearing, I just want to check one more time. Do the board members have any additional questions?
None of them have any questions, so that's it for the 2020 parole. Well, I don't know why you're down there. Okay, why is it like this? There we go. All right, Suma. Well, that was a rage ball of crazy.
Yes.
What you think?
Yep, that's Diane for you.
Thank you for sticking with me the entire time.
Always.
And I'm sorry X-Dirk had to be so disgusting earlier.
Yeah, that was pretty revolting. But
he's pretty up. Yeah, we might need to send him back to Latin camp or something.
For me, it's okay because he's not bothering me, but he's all over you.
Yeah, he's just saying nonstop disgusting things to me. And we maybe need to send him to finishing school again.
Unexpected, yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back probably this week. It's Thanksgiving week. So I had a thought I should maybe try and redo my first live that I did Black Friday last year. The one that sent those people like off the edge, be like, shut the up. What are you talking about?
I don't think I know that one.
That crazy comment I got when I did the Sydney Meacham live, like my very first like solo live where I was doing my own content, and the guy just went off the rails. He was so mad. So I thought maybe like a year later I can do Black Friday like repeat and do it again with all the things I've learned. But we could probably do some.
In other words, it'll be exactly the same.
It'll be exactly the same. Hopefully the cat doesn't reset the stream in the middle, but who knows? Right. Thank you everyone for being here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out. And subscribe to Suma and Xderek, even though Xderek is kind of disgusting. Yeah. But delete your archives. Kiss your finger, heart, eyes, kiss your face, rose. We're gonna end it with the bass shaman, the '80s mix. Okay, Kayla Marie, you know you are my special baby girl. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah, Kayla Marie, come on. No, you mine, little baby girl, right? Here we go. Come on. Kayla Marie, you know you are my precious baby girl. I swear I love you just so much, my little princess. My little baby girl, let's just have sex. Now listen to me, Kayla, miss. The penis wants his girlfriend now. Miss vagina between your legs, Kay. So tell me, did you count? Did you count those hairs down there yet? Or were there too many for you to count? Cause Kayla, if there are, I mean that just might be okay. As long as you promise to taste my wine. The white stuff that comes out of a grown man's penis. Tell me, Kayla, do you know what it's called? Because you have it too. It drips out of your vagina when you get excited, and I'll taste it. I wanna taste your cum, your 13-year-old cum, Kayla. Eating is what it's called when a man licks all up and down your clit. It's gonna feel oh so good for my precious little baby girl princess. I'm gonna pick you up and throw you in my white Dodge Ram and take you with me to my apartment. As soon as we get in, your clothes are coming off precious. His body's gonna be like, what the fuck? Get on the floor, Kayla. Come on.